the wet part of the racetrack.
Well, everybody, we are back. It's been 4 weeks since we've been here, of course. I hope you've all had a great break wherever you've been around the world. And I'm so delighted to be back here for round 10 of the WTF1 GPVWC Superleague here in 2019. Here at Hockenheim, of course, you've probably seen the real Formula One recently. That was really exciting. Difficult to top those heights, isn't it? But here we are. And anyways, here at Hockenheim for this evening's race. I'm David Carter. I'll say alongside me in a few moments' time will be Tom Parker. So Gerrit de Vries here alongside me doing the cameras and all the visual adverts and the broadcasting cameras here this evening. So round 2, you could say it, or part 2 of this season. I'd say it's been a great start of this year so far. What's the next 7 rounds going to bring us as we enter qualifying now here at Hockenheim? It's going to be a very close event because obviously we've got a very, very tight but fast track here. 1 minute 10 and 1 minute 11 lap times is the expectations here as everyone's just going out of the pits. And I say we've got a bit of news here too. I'll bring you actually while people are on a outblock. You might notice a different livery actually. If we go to Alex Siebel, who's currently P13, the reigning champion, you might think, oh, that's a bit different. That's in fact ACR have kind of had a mini rebranding, shall we say. So they've gone back to the old Vodbull style livery, the red, blue and white livery there. That's like a stunning job that is. And obviously Mike Pittman sort of bringing back the livery Vodbull, because of course he's split from ACR now completely. But ACR as a team are still here. So to speak, obviously they're drivers as well, but we've just seen the return of Vodbull, shall we say. So we could say it's like ACR Vodbull in some ways, but ACR will be calling him for the rest of the season. But it's great to see that livery back. I say it's a stunning looker, isn't it? I say we'll be seeing that plenty of that livery as well. We're going to start the first laps now of qualifying. Let's see who is going to be starting a lap first. What looks like Mr. Siebel is actually the first man to start a lap through the very, very tricky turn, which caught so many people out actually in the real life race. We saw both Mercedes have problems there, but he goes through there nice and clean. Turn 2 and then turn 3 down this long drag, and you see his teammate Stefan Miller already giving him the slipstream down here, down this curved straight. You see Reebok gets out of the way. But they have another car there. That's Dino Paolini also getting nicely out of the way. But the slipstream tactics, shall we say, or strategy already playing a hand, and even in the very first laps here. So Siebel's on his way. Going down the second part of the circuit, going up to the Mercedes grandstand area around this difficult left where Ricardo had his engine failure and ran this right hand. Sergio Perez had his accident on the opening laps here at Hockenheim a few days ago. Now into the stadium section, going pretty much flat out in 7th gear, 165 miles an hour. Then braking down to 2nd gear there, 80 miles an hour on the exit there. Now through this tricky left-right. And I think around a couple of quarters now is going to probably known as the ice rink now these days. Around the final 2 corners and across the line, Alex Siebel goes for a 10.9. So the champion really stamping a mark here this evening so far. Of course, Siebel leading this championship by a point from Yannick Boxer. Those two really going toe-to-toe for this championship. As his teammate, actually Dennis Jordan, or Box teammate Jordan there goes into 2nd. Jeffrey Fournier splits the pair of them. He goes up to P2 in the Epic car as well. So at the moment, we've got 28 cars And I'm running through all the runners and riders actually before in the warm-up, because we do have a couple of new names in this particular race, and a couple of names actually I'm really looking forward to see as well, so it's going to be an interesting one. So first lap time's coming off, so you've got Siebel at the front, then we've got Jeffrey Fournier, who's only about half a tenth behind. Keersmaker's there in P3 for the Scuderia Brasilia. New design on that car. I can't really tell maybe on the broadcast, but I can tell you it's lovely and glittery. Got a new PBR 4K resolution liveries on some of these cars now, which are available for you to try out your own liveries for the career ladder cars. And that's looking lovely and glittery in where the light is shining on that car. It just looks stunning. It's just a really lovely effect they've added on that car. So looking forward to seeing more of that in the next few races. Peter Burlak there in P4 for Edge Esports. Dennis Jordan there in 5th place. Just going back to the pits. Michael Ayres flag in 6th. Florian Geyer, Red Bull Street Fighter there in P7. Zapala in 8th. Yannick Bock in P9. Chris Butcher in the 2nd of Red Bull Street Fighters, currently rounding out the top 10. So, of course, all the cars have obviously, through this winter break, have also gone some development as well. So you might see a little bit of change of order. Obviously, these guys have had the option of doing a lot of practice for this event and the second half of the season. So you might see the order slightly change from the first 9 rounds of the season. If we look at the Teams Championship, sort of top positions, your Evolution Motorsports 290, your ACR 207, Red Archer 174, Epic Racing 107, nice and close actually in Epic Racing, Edge Esports and Edness Engineering 107, 193 respectively, and Scuderia Brasilia in 7th place on 76 points. Not seeing the order change too much. I think people are just going on their second runs now. Say YTF1 is another team actually. I've just realised if you go to P15, look at D'Amelio. He's stepping in for that team this weekend. But there we are. They've got the lovely blue on that livery now. So a change of paint scheme. Can we see a change of luck as well? Of course, no points so far this season for the new outfit this year, YTF1. It's been a bit of a struggle for them, but hopefully the second half of the season, they'll at least get some good points finishes. We all hope anyway. So back at the front, just seeing if anyone's improving on their lap times. I think Siebel's just started a lap as he goes through up to turn 2 actually. In the Abruzzi sponsored car as he goes through turns 2 and 3. He's actually 10th half down. So let's see if we can find anyone else who's on a quicker lap. Dennis Jordan actually on a much quicker lap as Yannick Bock actually gives him a slipstream down that back straight. Goes out of the hairpin now. 4 thousandths down on Alex Siebel's time, but he's obviously getting plenty of time down the straight. Here we go through the Mercedes section of the circuit through the left and the tricky right-hander that precedes it. And charges down towards the stadium section here once again. Flat out here, 7th gear, all the way through there. And of course, on these ultra soft tyres and low fuel, you can push really hard on these tyres. And Jordan's looking good here as he goes around the final couple of corners. He's got Florian Guy ahead of him. Which hopefully won't affect him too much at dirty air, but he comes across the line. It's going to be improvement for sure. And there he is, P1 for Dennis Jordan. He has just gone half a tenth faster. Oh, as we just see the Street Fighter there, Chris Butcher there spinning out of turn number 1. And Siebel can't respond. Fournier in 3rd there. Keersmaker's in 4th still. Peter Burlak, he's on a lap as well. Come through the final couple of corners. He's in P5 at this moment in time. Across the line, and he goes. There we go. Official pole for Burlak. Look at that. That 400's faster. We're into the 10.8s now. So Peter Burlak, it's been a strange season really for Edge Esports, really coming in with really high hopes, obviously, but they've had a, not really consistent lineup in that team. Obviously got Daniel Brewer as well in that car, in the second of the Edge Esports cars, but they've had a tricky one, but looking good so far at least. Jeffrey Fournier in P4, he's going a couple of tenths faster for the Epic Racing car. Goes a little bit wide. He's lost a lot of time actually through as he runs wide now, spins the car all the way around. He actually very wisely actually goes on backwards onto the runoff area there. And that's going to be a difficult one to recover from. I'll probably reverse, get a better line. There he goes. Nice. He does it. There's Jeffrey Fournier. And Zapala's up to P5 for Edness. Now, Zapala had his best result at Silverstone of the season, got into the top 10, I believe, if my memory is correct. Now running in P7 today is Stefan Rill in the ACR car. He's in P6, but Zapala P7 ahead of his teammates. and race-winning teammate this year, Eros Musculi, as well. So he's currently P9, is the Italian. And Musculi there as well. Michael Ayres running out the top 10 as it stands. If it's just a series that you want to get involved in, maybe it's the first time you're watching this, so you can check out GPVWC.com to find out how to get involved. You know, we got the Discord there as well. I think you can find all the information in the description below, all the links to all the various websites and Discords and forums and everything, and find out how you can get involved in such a great series. Obviously, we've got 4 different single-seater series here, as well as an academy series for the newcomers who come to race at GPVWC. And we've also got the touring car season just starting in a week's time, a week today actually. 2 divisions. Both divisions have 18 teams each, so 36 car grids there will be, and still teams are looking for seats now. So if it's something you want to get involved in, like a bit of that close, action-packed sort of paint-swapping racing, you know, we got the International Touring Cup, and 2 divisions there as well for you to apply. So plenty of opportunity for you to grab a seat. Looking back at the standings, Yannick Bock now taking provisional pole position here. Revolution obviously second in the championship, looking today to regain that title winning position and try and take this championship all the way to the wire with Alex Siebel. Obviously 7 rounds to go, a long way to go of course, but it's always good to get the edge over your rival as well. Actually, Alex Siebel, a personal best first sector. And he was actually 2/10 up on Yannick Bock actually, but he's lost time because Stefan Rolt was not in the right position there to get slipstream on him. Siebel goes around the hairpin once again, turn 5. This short blast up this flat out section. This kink is not really a corner, is it? It's just completely flat out. It's like that 175 miles an hour, getting close to 300 kilometers now. Siebel then rounds the tricky left and the right as he goes this short blast again down to this flat out stadium section here. Once again, he's actually up on his time and up on Yannick Bock's time as well. Very easy to make or break here around the hairpin. You know, it's only really one line through there, but take a little bit too much speed, you can wash out a lot of time as you go through the final couple of corners down to the pit straight. DRS will be wide open, so he crosses the white line there and it comes across the line, and he is going to go into P3, 2/10 behind Dennis Jordan as well, but he's putting the fight here to both Evolution cars as Jordan does take that provisional pole by a comfortable margin as well. You know, only 2/10 to 10.6. You know, and 2/10 may not sound a lot to a lot of you guys at home, but trust me, in qualifying here, that is a big good advantage to have. You know, sometimes we see qualifying, you see 3 or 4 cars just covered by less than a 10th of a second sometimes. You know, that 2/10 margin for Dennis Jordan, that's going to come in really handy. With his last 4 minutes to go here of the session, people have got 2 or maybe 3 laps to squeeze in, potentially, to grab a faster lap time. Yannick Bock now P2 and second of Evolution cars. He's currently up on his own time and looking like he's going to challenge Dennis Jordan here for this pole position on this particular lap as they go through this tight and technical section once again. Very easy to get it wrong at any of these corners, to be honest, but he gets a great drive out of the final corner, and this looks like it's going to take him to a visual pole. Yes, it does. A 10.5. So Evolution really looking on fire here today as we see Ben Horrell has just joined one of the cars on the grid. Which one is that? Has he joined? Let's have a little look. That is the green stripes. He's in George Sutton's car. So Ben Horrell in the car for this evening's race. So we're now up to 29 drivers going to be taking part today. But so both Evolutions looking on top at this moment in time, both 1 and 2. And I believe we have just been joined by our other commentator here, Tom Parker. Obviously enjoying his break last 4 weeks off or so and been keeping very busy, as I'm sure a lot of you are aware, Tom. Nice to have you back.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, it's going to be good to be back. It's been a long time, hasn't it? But yes, back to the top, back to Super League, and yeah, Evolution don't look too bad, do they, for the starters? But obviously still got 2.5 minutes to go, so who knows? But yeah, looking good for the boys in white and blue.
And of course, you know, obviously the summer break as well has it's a crucial time for these teams to get themselves all organised and prepare for this assault, really, for the second half of the season. Still a little way to go. 2.25 minutes to go of the session here, Tom. But as you rightly say, we've had obviously different liveries, slightly different drivers as well. But the order's not actually looking that different,
No, I was surprised to see Eros Mashkuli down in 8th, but then Zapala obviously up in there in 6th. So maybe Mashuli's a little bit lower than he'd like, but Zapala probably a bit higher than he'd like. So obviously Adonis finished off the first half of the season very, 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 very strong, didn't they? Probably the team, in fact. So, but yeah, you're right. The same two top. You wouldn't be surprised. Alex Siebel 4th. Per Burlak making a return 5th, looking really, really good. But Fournier, yeah, looking good there in 3rd place for Epic. Be a good assault for them to try and get their second half of the season up and running. But yeah, some new names, obviously a return for a name, as it were, as well. So interesting to see, but a minute and a half to go. And boy, is a qualifying lap round here fun. So I'll let you take over the last minute a bit. But qualifying round here in a car like this, you're not lifting much, put it that way.
No, it's cracking, isn't it? It really is it's like an assault almost, assault on the racetrack. You're just pushing around every single corner on these ultra soft tyres as well and low fuel. It's going to be an absolute blast to get around here. Just looking at the times, Dennis Jordan slightly up on his time and Yannick Bock's time as well as it goes into the hairpin once again. So these two Evolution guys fighting Hammering Tom, got the WTF1 car on the grass there. Hopefully they don't put Dennis off. It should have been absolutely fine. John going around the last couple of corners now. Oh, he's lost a little bit of time there, it looks like to me. And yeah, P2 it is. It's a very small amount that he lost there. Siebel a bit further back as well. He's looking like he's going slightly faster, obviously in the rebranded or reliveried ACR car as well. Once again, total commitment through these corners, isn't it, Tom? It really is a blast. We've got David Krupa there and a crash as well in the final corner as well. It looks like Siebel's just about didn't hold up too much. Went slightly faster, but no improvement in the end. But yeah, that was a bit chaotic around the final corners there as well. But yeah, that was interesting stuff. But again, nice and close to the top.
It is indeed, and Burlak's looking very quick through Sector 1. 10th and a half up on Bock. Looking there, I think they've got quite high top speed in that Edge car today. So possibly losing it through the final sector. But yeah, you're right, commitment absolutely everywhere on this lap. In fact, if we can go on board with Yannick Bock, that'd be perfect. Obviously, he starts his final lap, and he's already a 10th and a half up on his, and going into the final sector already. Caught blimey, you forget how short this lap is, really, don't you? But these last couple of corners here, very tricky to sort in real life F1, and that's wet. It's bad enough in the dry. You little bit wide, and you can really stun it. But look at that, 10.4 from Yannick. To go a 10th faster, he actually lost a bit of time in the final sector, but luckily made up enough in the first two sectors to take his pole position. Or at least
Burlak as well. P5 at the moment. He's going to cross the line. He only goes at one position ahead, but ahead of the champion. For Peter Burlak in 4th. Siebel looks like he's not going to improve. He's down in P5. Zapala cracking performance there in P6 in the end. That's a stunning job from the Italian. But Rilt there, Pete jumps him in the end. And Stefan Rilt. So that's probably his best performance for ACR. As well, P6 for Rob. So Zapala P7. Fabio Sixto, the race winner last time at Silverstone, P8. Erasmus Skuli, P9. And Laurent Kiers making their own top 10. Then we've got Michael Ayres, Milnek in 12th. Chris Butcher there for Red Bull Street Fighter 13th. Alex Cooper 14th. Dino Paolini in 15th. That rounds up all their top 15 there, Tom. But I'll tell you what, it's going to be an interesting one. I say we're running through all the new names in the warm-up session, but this second half of the season, it's been very close so far this year. Expecting more of the same.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't really get any closer, could you? Towards the end of the first half, you had what? Red Archer, Adonis, ACR back then, obviously, Evolution, all fighting for a victory with the odd Epic and the odd flag to flag up there as well, didn't you? So, can you get any closer, or can someone pull away? I know Evolution are absolutely raring to go, as you can tell by their 1-2. I know, obviously, I was part of the team myself. I know Dennis has been very, very, very motivated, as has Yannick, to try and push on, obviously, for their first ever championship in the Super League. So, can anyone catch them? Epic are doing a good job, obviously. A bit of a shaky first half of the season, didn't they? Ups and downs, obviously, quite very low points, really, quite towards the start of the season, but on the way up again, obviously Burlak returning for Edge in 4th. That's really good result for him, actually, a few races out. But yes, obviously the newly branded, or rebranded, as I should say, VBM, Alex Siebel and Stefan Riol. Like I said, Riol, cracking performance there. Only 0.034 off his champion teammate, so that's not bad. But can ABM make any inroads into this championship deficit that they have to the Evolution boys. Obviously, we'll find out. But yeah, Zapala as well. Adonis, look, it's a bit more 2x2, isn't it? Really, if you look to, you've got 2 Adonises up there. You've got 2 Evolutions, 2 VBMs. So we could see, you might start seeing some more closer performances, if you should say.
I'll tell you who I did have a good session actually. YTF1 for this year, you know, and with respect to them, 20th and 21st, you know, they're a bit higher up than they have been so far, and a bit closer up to the pack as well. So for Luca D'Amelio and David Krupa stepping in this round, that's a good performance ahead of both Hawkeyes as well. Of course, Hawkeye have not had a good year either, you know, really in retrospect. But you know, it's good to see, you know, YTF1 as well, a bit further up the grid and maybe challenging for those lower points positions as well. You know, see the times they're top 22 covered by a second as well. It's we normally have close grids around the Super League and all the series actually, in fairness, but we're in for another good one here today. Of course, strategy as well. Not too much to say. I think everyone's gone for ultra soft, super soft, and soft. So not too much going on regarding strategy, but you might see someone trying to slightly altered or edited strategy, shall we say, but no one going to be doing any mediums or hard today. It's the softest rubber available, please, and that's what we're going to use.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting middle stint now. So obviously it's quite a high tyre wear track. I think Evolution put it quite well on their Twitter. There's only 2 real left-handers here.
Yeah.
So your front left really does take a battering through those right corners. And like I said earlier in qualifying, they are some very high-speed corners. I mean, look at, I think it's turn 10, you've got turn 1, turn 2, turn 5. They're all high-speed right-handers, so your front left is going to take battering. So obviously the norm has been ultra soft, super soft, ultra soft, or ultra soft, super, super. But we may see the soft tyre today in the middle stint. I know some teams are planning to do ultra, super, ultra. Some teams are planning to do ultra, super, super, because that's the best they can do. Some teams are even planning to do ultra, soft, ultra, because they just can't get the tyre to last, because this front left, it doesn't enjoy it, put it that way. So it's going to be interesting to see who takes what. I know there was a lot of variance yesterday in Super League Lights. Obviously, we didn't have a broadcast for that, unfortunately, but a lot of variance going on there as well. So it's not your run-of-the-mill 2-stop today. I think it's definitely a 2-stop. Whether or not it's going to be a simple 2-stop is another question.
Yeah, going to see some creative strategies, I think, regarding that. I think definitely the 2-stop is the way to go. But I'd say some alterations to that will be the norm, I think. I'll see 1 or 2 teams trying something slightly different than particularly teams at the back compared to teams at the front. So we'll see what works out best for the teams. And obviously now we've got this warm-up now to see, maybe gather a couple of clues of what some teams are going to be doing. But I'd say, you know, it's one to look forward to. I think for a lot of people as well, you know, and yeah, I've noticed this for a few teams up and down, not just in Super League, Tom, but up and down the career ladder. This month break is difficult to get back into the routine for a lot of people. Even my team down in Formula Challenge, you know, I noticed, you know, people take a 2-week break, 3-week break, and they used to. It's getting back into the routine, getting back into that rhythm. It's very, very difficult. I've noticed. I don't know how you said that, you know, Dennis and Yannick were very, very motivated to get into Germany, but I think the practice and the, you know, you see the results up and down the pit lane in every series, and you can kind of tell who's been motivated and who hasn't been in some cases.
Yeah, motivation's one of those hard things to get on. Obviously, I know in Europe especially, it's been very hot, hasn't it? So a lot of people have been out and just haven't had the time or haven't had the... They just want to have a holiday, don't they? That's what this month break's all about. Obviously, you get 2 weeks between races, so we've basically had an extra week off. And... yeah, it's just hard to get back into it. I know myself, I struggled to get back into it. I was busy over the break, like you said, so I had lots of things going on, but it is hard to just get back into the swing of things, get back into it. From next race onwards, I think you'll see back to the norm, if you know what I mean. So back to, you know, we've got a 2-week break, we'll spend 2 weeks practicing, blah, 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 blah. But like I said, you know who's there. You can see the dedication from the teams. Obviously, Evolution, look right up there. BBM want to make a mark on their return, as it were. Obviously, ACR now rebranded to Volleyball and Motorsport. And I think someone like Epic as well, for example, they've got a point to prove. Rough start of the season, but like I said, point to prove. 3rd place is a good start. So can they improve that? Who's a teammate? It's not the usual today. Who is in the other Epic car?
That is a good point. Actually,
Kilk, it is Kilk. I just couldn't
Kilk,
see
yeah.
you. Sorry, right? Yeah, couldn't see you. But yeah, so but then Kilk's been looking pretty strong. I didn't see him in the top 10 there in the qualifying for that one, but they've both been looking pretty good. I think they've both got a point to prove. So obviously YTF1, I think we're all banking on them to get a point. If Williams can manage it in real life, I'm sure YTF1 can manage it in the sim world. So we're rooting for you, Matt. We really are. But yeah, it's going to be give it next week. Next race, and we'll see. Back to teams who really are back focused again. I think it's Hungary. I think we're Hungary next.
I think we're in Spa. Hungary's been taken off the calendar this year, unfortunately.
No! I have bad memories of Hungary, so there we go.
But Spa will be in a couple of weeks' time. The one driver who is missing actually today is second of the Edge Esports cars, Dan Brewer. He's not here today, so it's only a 29 car grid. I'll tell you a lie. Tom Oldenmenger's in his place. So there is one car missing. I've just got to work out which car that is. I have not yet worked it out.
Oh, it's 28. There's 2 missing.
Yeah, there was 29 in qualifying. It could be the second of the Mad Capes. No,
Mashudi's left. Yeah, Mashudi's left the session, so he's coming back. I would assume. I hope. So that's one Adonis. Who's the other? Green Shrub's got both theirs.
Storm. It's the Storm racing car. Bart DeVos is in one of them, but the second one has it's been Ranieri, I think, has been in the second car, hasn't he, this season?
Yeah, finishes, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, that's
the
missing culprit.
I saw Josh Anderson. I'm sure I saw Josh in the Storm car in the test, actually.
He was, So if he
there must be someone around. Come on,
Josh. Come on. Get in the car. Let's see what you're made of.
I only ever took you 4 times in the test, but come on, Josh. It'd be good. You never know. You might get a point. Like I said, if Kubica can get it, I'm sure anyone can. But no, it looks good. Chris Butcher's looking. He was looking pretty good in his Street Fighter. He's obviously been quite high up there for Red Arrow and his Super League lights. So hopefully he can do points proof in the Street Fighter. Obviously, Flo Geyer as well. I think he qualified. I want to say about 16th. So they're looking for a better second half of the season. Obviously. Another team have had their ups and downs at the very start, so some very high highs, but some very low lows. So another team that are looking to bounce back, as it were. And then you've got run of the mill. So someone like Brasilia, they've been looking quite consistent up there throughout the season. They've had the odd nightmare and the odd flash of brilliance, but looking good. Kismakers in second, obviously, in this warm-up. So someone who is quite fearful in Super League lights, obviously always usually in the top 3 area. So who knows? We might see some surprises today. Obviously, it's going to be all about that choo-choo train. 3 DRS zones, all followed by each other. As Matt Clip alluded to yesterday, he goes, one stop doesn't really work when you've got 3 DRS zones in a row. So,
no.
Bless him. But, there's 3 DRS zones, so it's obviously all about who's gone for high speed. Obviously, very, very quick Sector 2, Sector 1, and obviously Sector 3, all tight and twisty. So there's quite a big variation in downforce that you can have here. But seriously, Sector 3 is so fun to drive if you've got a high downforce. I mean, in qualifying, it was just a lift into the first right-hander. So it is going to be fun. It's going to be a fun race today, I think, very close. And if anything, like qualifying is anything to go by, it's going to be another close one today.
It's going to be extremely close. And I'll allude back to what you said about Red Bull Street Fighter. Good result. Bear in mind, they're still on 4 points. And for a team who's invested so much into the season, and obviously tried different drivers at different times, and they've got a very, very well-developed car. It has just not worked. Whatever they've tried, obviously they've had their dramas, they've had their, moments, shall we say, but it's just not got going at all. And obviously fighting down there with Storm as well, YTF1. They're a team that deserve, you believe it should be much higher up than what they are. So hopefully the second half of the season they can regain their form. But this is going to be interesting. Obviously, Hockenheim and then Spa in 2 weeks' time as well. This is what I call the meat and the bones of the calendar. It's we've got some great circuits coming up. Obviously after Spa, we'll have Monza as well. It's all come together nicely, isn't it? Here, Tom. We're going to look forward to the next few weeks, aren't we?
They are, and there's some real driver tracks. Hockenheim is a real driver's track, and people love it, don't they? I mean, personally, from my point of view, it's probably one of my favourite tracks. I absolutely love Hockenheim. So fast, so technical, so brilliant. yeah, and you can race here. It's like they say in real life: is you can race here, you can overtake, you can have some real good fun around here, as opposed to somewhere like Hungary where it's a bit difficult to overtake, and a bit difficult to have a bit of fun. Here you can have fun. Spa, obviously, one of the fan favourites everywhere. Monza, another fan favourite. We're going to have some real cracking races, I think, towards the end of this season. And the championship's not over. I mean, especially in the drivers, it's very close.
It's 1 point.
1 point. You can't get really much closer, can you?
Not really.
And that's only because Yannick, I think, took someone on the final lap. So, if I remember rightly, or something like that. It was so close from there. So,
yeah.
Yannick and Alex looking good. Dennis isn't too far behind either. Sixter's on a roll as well. He's finally got those victories. He can finally start to look forward to it. So who knows? Obviously, the teams is a little bit different. Evolution have got a bit of a march. And obviously, they're looking good again today. So they're looking pretty good on that side. But Drivers' Championship, I wouldn't be able to choose a winner. I wouldn't even be able to choose top 3 at this moment. So as long as we can keep going racing like we had in the first couple of races the first half of the season this year, I'm game. I don't mind who wins it. As long as Evolution win the teams, I'm happy. No bias at all, obviously.
No. There's nothing you can see. That's instead of a straight face. So, so 1 point separating Siebel and Bock, and then between Bock and Jordan, you've got a 36-point gap between Bock and Jordan, and then between Jordan and Six is interesting. Only 5 points between those two drivers. So there's like 2 battles going on here: first and second, and third and fourth. And of course, they could merge together potentially, depending on what happens, circumstance and what have you. And then behind that is a big gap between Sixter and Musculi. Musculi down 74 points. Then you got Barat 65, who could really make a march, actually. Obviously, he's missing today's race, but if he just gets the run he's been going, he's been having, he could really cause some big things there. Right kilt there, P7 as well. He's just been so consistent, banking those points when he can. So it's been really good there. Evolution winning the team's championship by 83 points from ACR. And then Red Archer actually closer to ACL than what a lot of people think. That's saying 33 points between those two teams as well. So that could get nice and juicy and tasty before the season's out. And between Epic, Edgy Sports, and Edenis, you got 14 points between those 3 teams.
Oh.
So that's going to be really close to get that 4th position between those 3 teams. Scooter Brazilian not out of it exactly. They need a couple of good results, so it's good rounds here. They got 76 points. You're down in 7th there to catch up to those 3 teams. You need a couple of good results. So we're just sorting out the grid for the race. Obviously, 29 cars. You've got Ben Holt at the back of the grid in the second of the green stripes cast here today. I'm not going to be tempted to pick a winner here today, Tom. I'll say you're a braver man than me. I'm just going to let them race. I am not, because it's always so close, and you got the DRS zones as well. Time it and technical at the end of the lap. It's going to be a blast, isn't it? And of course, the lap's just going to roll on by because it's a very quick lap here.
It is, and like I said, when I said, can we go on board with Yannick? He's already finishing the lap. I thought, bloody hell. But Fournier is looking pretty good. 14-1, quickest of warm-up, and he's qualified 3rd. So, would be good for Epic to, good airs, actually, with 14-0. That looks like a bonsai lap. If you look at warm-up, where's Dennis 19th? And Yannick 13th, 14-7s. Obviously, they've traditionally been quite good on their tyres, haven't they? So expect them to be one of the people who do ultra, super, ultra, rather than the super, rather than the softs in the middle stint. But Fournier looking racy, and obviously, like I said, DRS, there's opportunities for them to overtake. And I think Evolution have gone quite high on the downforce side of things. As we go into the race. But yeah, I think Evolution have gone quite high on the downforce side of things. So they'll be quite keen in Sector 3 to try and get out of the way, try and get out of DRS zones and race it that way. But here we go, into the race. I'll let you go through the grid as I sort out some little bits. And yeah, cracking. 67 laps of fun.
Yeah, 67 laps indeed. Of course, 26 degrees as well, track temperature here as well today. So we're not expecting any rain whatsoever at all. It's going to be a dry, just flat out race here this evening. And I'll say, obviously, put your predictions in the chat as well. Who you think's going to do well this race? Who you think's going to win? Who's going to scrape points? So WTF1 going to finally score some points this season? Let's find out in the next hour and a half or so. So we're going to now go on to the grid now. Everyone's just finalising all their setups and their strategies. See what's going to happen here today. So obviously a difficult turn one. We saw a few incidents yesterday, actually, with Mike Bell having a lag incident into turn one as well and causing absolute chaos. So
Yes, brown
hopefully...
trousers were involved there for me. Yeah, saw that. Was not. Oh, thankfully, but yes, that was terrifying.
Yeah, I saw it live. I was like, oh my goodness. But luckily, you know, apart from the people involved, of course, it could have been a lot worse. So I'm now going to bring you down the grid. So pole position, Yannick Bock here. Championship contender here today. And he's starting in the perfect position here, P1. Him. Alongside him, his teammate, Dennis Jordan there, P2 as well. Jeffrey Fournier looking to, you know, maybe restart his season here. He's had a bit of misfortune here and there. He's in P3. Peter Burlak, the return of Peter Burlak there for AG Sports, P4 for him. Alex Siebel, championship leader, reigning champion, P5. He's got his teammate, Stefan Rill, in the second of the ACR cars there. Zapala in P7 with Fabio Sixter there in P8. Eros Misculi, P9, ahead of Laurent Keersmakers, rounding out that top 10. Marquez in the flag to flag. In 11th with Milnet there, rounding out row 6 in the Brasilia car. Chris Butcher there for 13th place for Red Bull Street Fighter. He has got alongside him Alex Cooper in 14th. Yuka Pekalelu there in the first of the Mazuric cars. He's got Jerome Kriegel there in 16th position there as well. Dino Paolini 17th. Florian Gaia in 18th. Luca Di Melio and David Cooper there rounding out on their debuts here this year, I believe. Both WTF1 cars rounding up that. Row number 10, 19th and 20th respectively for Di Melio and Krupa. Matches Smooths in P21 ahead of Liam DeVal. P22, a bad qualifying here for Hawkeye. It's not been a good year for them, has it? Let's face it. So Older Manga there, P23. He's filling in for Edgy Sports today. He's got Bart DeVos starting behind him. Noah Chilla in P25 for Mad Cape. He's got Right Kill in P26. David Ford at P27. I believe he had a 5-place grid penalty at some point. Sergi Harrison, second flag to flag cars, P28. And Ben Harrell is returned to Super League, P29 in the second of the green stripe cars as well. And we'll find out the tyres, what they're on in a second here, Tom. But that's two very actually. A lot of people on the softs towards the back of the grid.
Yeah, I can see someone making a soft, making it and then do a soft ultra super or soft super ultra. Try and give them the advantage into the last couple of laps, I would imagine.
So here we go again. We've been waiting long enough here for this to happen. It's the second half of the season. It's just about to get underway. Fasten your seatbelts, everybody, as we're all going to be lined up now. Expect the lights to come on now. There's the fourth. There is the fifth light, and it's here at Hockenheim. They are away, and it's a decent start there. Looks like by Fournier as well, getting a great start. Contact about the WTF1 car's carnage. Absolute carnage at the back of the field. David Krupp has not moved off the line, and his car is wrecked. Zapala runs right onto the grass there as well. Everybody else, it looks like some damage at the back of the field there, but everyone at the front at least has got away pretty cleanly. But yeah, disastrous start there for David Krupa. They're all the way down to back straight here for the first time. Here they go once again. So both revolutions there, still 1 and 2. Bock maintaining his lead from Jordan. We got Fournier to go into the hairpin for the first time. And then you got a couple of moves there from a couple of Brasilia cars. We got a move there from a Green Stripes car. Hawkeye there making a cheeky lunge there on the inside. I think that's Liam DeVal's car actually there as well. A bit of damage further back of the field, but you know, everyone, Tom, apart from David Krupa, of course, is already out of this race after losing his wheel. Everyone else seems to have got away pretty scot-free.
There's a spin. Who's that backwards? Flo Guy's just, I think it's just locked his brakes. I think it was just one of those locked his brakes going into, I can't remember, I think it's turn 6.
Ah, yes. He hit the back of the Mazuric car of Paolini, I think.
Oh, yeah, just a tap, and he's locked his brakes to try and avoid it. He did well to stop the car, though, to avoid anyone, so well done to Flo. Yes, back to 28th. We have someone in 27th who's at Bart DeVos without a front wing. But yeah, a bit of a messy start at the back there, but everyone else away cleanly. And you've got Bock maintaining the lead from Dennis and Jeff. So actually, the top 6, 7 have actually maintained positions. So nice and clean.
And Bock's made an error, and Dennis Jordan's gone around the outside. A very similar move to what Vettel did in the Grand Prix. But look at Jeffrey Fournier. He's got the slipstream here. The higher wings on the Evolution cars might come to bite them a little bit, as Fournier's now got the run on one of them, and looking, no, Jordan holds the defence there into the braking zone, but Fournier there has got the run and got the move done on Yannick Bock, and watch out with Burlak as well. He's sniffing all the way around the gearbox there of Yannick Bock as well.
Yeah, so I mean, Yannick, I think he pulled out and he trying to make repass on Fournier going to the hairpin. Obviously, he's got a championship to think about, hasn't he? So he doesn't want to risk any sort of moves. But good job there from Fournier. Obviously, what's the word? Capitalised on a mistake and into second place. And obviously, Dennis into the lead. And Mr. Siebel is now behind, or 2 places behind, sorry, Box. He can sniff. He can sniff getting ahead of him obviously in the championship race. 1 point between them, like I said before. It's nice and close. But yeah, Dennis leads over the line for lap 2.
Now. we see all that Janice before, but I'm expecting, and I think you're very good on these sorts of things here, Tom, with strategy. Sort of lap 15, lap 16. Is that a sort of period we're going to expect see some cars in?
Yeah, I'd say between 15 and 17. I think you'll be expecting the majority of teams to be coming in. I know someone's trying to push it as far as 19, but I think you'd be a brave man to get it that far. Obviously, the undercut can work really well here. Really, really well. The undercut can work if there's some clear air. So you want to try and get in sooner rather than later. But yeah, Fournier looking into turn 6, but can't quite get the move done on Dennis. Oh, it's Bach. Where's he gone? Oh, he's lagging around quite a bit, actually. Yeah, Dennis. Yeah. Dennis, getting confused. Yeah, like 500 ping. He needs to try and get that under control, as I thought he'd gone off. But see what he can do and try and keep that under control. Obviously, that'd be a disaster, him being retiring from the race because of a issue with lag. But yeah, going back to the strategy, 15, 16, 17, I reckon we'll be seeing most of the teams in for a set of either supers or softs.
Now, we saw in warm-up, actually, I kept an eye on the chat, and he said that Yannick's Box ping was pretty high, and it's all over the place. We're now down to 1 ping as he goes through turn 1 now. So it's all over the place at the moment. Hopefully it's something that will stabilise and sort himself out for his sake, as well as the others around him, I guess, because that could be a pretty dangerous situation potentially. We hope not, though. I hope it all sorts itself out and we can have a nice fight for the championship as well. Everyone else further back, really, top 26 cars pretty much all in a line. Flooring guy is now catching up to the back of the train. De Vries just going through the stadium section once again. But Fournier here's taking the lead. He's made the move down Dennis Jordan into the hairpin now as here we are, Epic Racing here, lead here at Hockenheim.
Yep, good move from Jeff just to get it through, get it done. Bish, bash, bosh, off and go. So now he's got to try and keep the lead. Through sector 3, obviously you're not going to find many places to overtake higher unless you're brave. But you just see now the difference between their wings, actually. So we'll see. Yeah, Dennis gets quite a bit of understeer, actually. They're in dirty air. But when we get onto the straights, where you'll get to DRS, unless he makes a mistake in the next couple of laps. The next couple of corners, sorry. So we'll see what is like his top speed is like in the DRS of Fournier. But over the line, we've had 3 different leaders in 4 laps. That's not too bad. Obviously, 63 laps to go. A long way to go yet, so we'll have to see. But here we go into DRS. Should be enabled. I suppose it isn't. But there we go. That's weird.
Okay. So we're going to find out what straight line speed these guys have now, and can Evolution live with the straight line speed of the Epic car ahead? Let's have a look. Top speeds now. It's getting a little bit quicker, but it's not massively faster than the car ahead of him. He's still caught up a little bit though. There's a move further back there. We've got Michael Ayres making a move from 6th for P7. And he gets to move down inside. And also a bit further back, there's a bit of wheel rubbing there. It looks like Butcher and Milneck's car there, as Milneck's trying to hold on for this 10th position. Butcher's looking now around. And look at Sapala as well. We're looking sniffing around these back two as well. There's a Butcher there, and Sapala's trying to get the traction out of the corner. Not managing to do so there as well. We got Queekle behind him as well. Scurry as well, put down in P14 as well. But this midfield scrap as well is really heating up as well. We got De Vries had a great start. He started well down, about 23rd, 24th or something like that. He's up to 15th already. So Liam De Vries, obviously, it was just the chaos at the start really helped him, benefited, and shot through the field.
There's an evolution in 9th place. Yannick Box in 9th. Has he had a lag incident?
Let's have a little look. I am going to catch up on that and see what's happened to him, because I completely missed that. Looks like lag has it. Yes, there was a technical issue definitely there, wasn't there? And he's just trying to sort his lag issue out, and he went slowly for a few corners up to the stadium section. So he sort of pulled over a little bit to see what the issue was, and he's back in the race. But down in 9th now is Yannick Bock behind him. Oh, look at that wheel banging there between Butcher and Milneck now to go into the hairpin once again. So these two are getting feisty, and I know with Chris Butcher, he's not afraid to rub a bit of paint You know, I've known him for a long time, you know, and if someone gives him, he's not afraid to give it back, you know. So that's going to get pretty feisty down there, I reckon, for that 10th position and all around these sorts of cars.
Yeah, it's pretty tasty. Now 16th as well between Cooper and D'Amelio. D'Amelio into 16th for YTF1, and a nice little move into the hairpin. Alex had to take avoiding action, not because it was dangerous. I think he just tried to be safe, as it were. But yeah, D'Amelio into 16th place for YTF1, just one more, and you'll be in the points, my friend. So that'd be nice.
I think there's running in the points at Silverstone. I think it was Sven de Vries briefly before Sven spun it into the wall, which was a real shame because that was going really well at that time. But, you know, again, sniffing around the points once again. It takes one more position to be gained ahead of him, you know, and then could be in for the points today. So, a long way to go as well. We're not even 10% through this race yet. So, a long way to go for all of these drivers to help position. But here are Dennis Jordan keeping in the coattails here with Fournier quite well, but also Burlack and Sewell behind as well as Rolf. So no one's really getting away here at the front of the field. But tell you, man, to shout for actually, Michael Ayres running in P6 here with the flag.
Ooh, Chiller, sorry to cut over you, but Chiller's braked on the grass for the hairpins. We could save actually, but he's lost the back end, lost a couple of positions down to 23rd. But yeah, just to just about gets away with it. So good stuff there.
Yeah, I know all about that hairpin. I actually upbraked myself there in Formula Challenge myself, actually, and I was aiming for the side of the car. Can't remember exactly who it was, but I had to accelerate past their car because they was going around the hairpins. I thought, well, instead of smashing into the side of their car, I thought I'll just accelerate past, and that was a real heart in mouth moment, shall we say, when that happened. But you know all about the hairpin. It can be very dangerous, say, if someone has a moment there. But Bart de Vos has also retired from the race. Of course, he had that accident at the start of the race, and with David Krupa off the start line. So that is for Storm Racing. That's their participation over and done with for today. So they'll come back at hopefully come back at Spa stronger than today. That's for sure. Fournier holds up lead out in front. Jordan from Peter Burlack, and then the two ACR cars behind them as well. Michael Ayres in P6 doing a great job. 6th and 7th. Keersmaker's 8th. Bock in 9th there trying to recover from that technical issue that he had. And Milnick still had it up 10th with Butcher right behind.
Oh, the Cooper now under attack from Jukka-Pekka Lally. 17th place. Can't quite get the move done there. So Alex seems to be struggling a little bit on these tyres. Always been traditionally one of the tyre-hungry people, shall we say. So I can't imagine he'd be struggling this soon into the race. But yeah, it's a nice little battle down there for the lower reaches of the top 20, which is nice to see. Got racing all the way through this field, which is good to see. Zapata down in 12th. Fastest lap of the race so far, 14.2 from Stefan Ruel. So he's having one of his strong performances today, isn't he, really, for VBN. Obviously in that championship hunt as well. So as yeah, they're actually sort of concertining up, aren't they? So you got Dennis behind Fournier, and you got Burlack, Siebel, Ruel, Ayres, all sort of keeping in touch with them.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right with Ruel. Yannick Bock has another lag moment actually down in 9th place. He's really struggling with that. But I think for Ruel, it's probably his best performance so far in those, well, I'd say the colours of ACR, in an ACR car. You know, following Siebel going toe-to-toe with him pretty much now since the start of the race. Michael Ayres as well, P6. You know, he's been chasing these guys or holding station there since the start of the race. As well, Fournier. Of course, these are all Valiant, apart from the Burlack's car, they're all Valiant engine cars pretty much at the front of the field as well, which probably says a lot for this engine. You know, they've had so much success over the last few years, and they're still pretty much dominating the front of the field as well.
Top 9 separated by 5 seconds. It's quite close. I don't think I remember seeing the top 10, top 9 this close before. I mean, there's a big gap between Yannick and Linek in 10th. There's a 2.5 second gap there, but nice gap as Yannick. It's all over the place. I know Chris is trying to get in touch with the Evolution driver, but don't think there's any luck that way. But yeah, it's looking a bit. Oh my word! He lagged straight into the car of Keersmakers there. I don't know how they didn't make contact, but dangerous stuff for the championship protagonist.
Yeah, so of course that was a bit of controversy actually in Istanbul. I can't remember the driver. I think it was Christian Pasquale. There was a bit of controversy there said about because Pasquale had similar issues as well. Was behind. Oh, now you got Milnick and Butcher once again trying to get past The Brasilia driver, but not managing again, but he set himself up nicely actually for the run down here actually. Look at that. Milnet runs a little bit wide. Butcher's now going to try and break around the outside. Milnet defends hard but fair. Butcher's now trying to get around the outside of him around here. Look at that. Butcher's getting the run. There's contact between the two. Milnet defends just about. Then we got Sapala as well trying to get involved in this fight as well. After that great qualifying, he's obviously had the penalty start a bit further back than he would have liked. Quickle as well now got Mashkuli there. So all these guys are closing up to each other. Deval as well is in this scrap. So you got these 6 cars all scrapping away. Meadows trying to keep up these as well. So it's all mixed up. And then we got behind them, we got Cooper, Moose, Leilu, Kilk, and Pauli. They're all scrapped together. So all different cars again, all really nicely close to each other. We got Sergio Harris has dropped back a little bit. He's got a spin somewhere or a moment somewhere. Everyone as well, really closely packed together. It's in their own little groups at the moment, but still top 9, still as they were.
Yeah, as they were. Or it's just funny. I was flicking back through and you just saw their DRS go ping, 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 open up because they're all within the second gap, obviously. And then you got, like I said, 4-second gap back to mine now as Zapala and Quickle both go for a dive bomb. I don't know if Butcher braked really early or what, but yeah.
Butcher lost it. I think he lost it on the brakes and just sort of went spear to the left a little bit under braking, which is unfortunate. But he's lost 2 places. He's trying to fight back. Then we got Deval making the move on Mashkuli there. So the race winner Mashkuli is down in 15th. Being passed by the Hawkeye there of Liam Deval as well. But Butcher there struggling as well. Still a long way to go. But Quickle there, really the beneficiary there. He's up to that P11 past Sapala and Butcher.
Yeah, I bet Sapala's a bit 94. Oh, probably made a place there. Oh, wait, no. I'm back down into 12th. But yeah, good move there from Quickle. Very opportunistic. And up into 11th for the...
Oh, we got a spinner. Noachilla spun into the gravel trap as well from P22. He's rejoined the race now in 26 now, but he's on those ultra softs as well. They'd have been got a bit of a lock-up after that, you would have thought. They're back down to 26.
Yep, that'll be rumble. As we've got some... Is that someone in the pits? Did I just see? No, my eyes are tricking me. But yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So car in the pits. Yukapek and Leilu's in the Mazuric car. He's on the super softs. Yeah. Very early stop, 11 laps.
Oh, who's that off? Mashuli. Mashuli's had an off coming out of turn 3.
That's
got front wing.
He's been flying. Now, this is the thing. So he went wide at turn 2.
Who's that off there? Moose is off as well.
So Mashuli went off at turn 2, rejoins the circuit fine, gets a slow exit, he gets contact with D'Amelio's car and spins. And then poor old Matches Moose tries to avoid him, and Aerospace goes flying, cartwheeling through the air. Moose had nowhere to go but to go to the side of his car. So Moose and Mashkili are the big losers in this as well.
Yeah, Moose is retired.
Yeah, Moose is retired with suspension damage. Mashuli's going to go into the pits. Look at that car crapping all over the place.
If he gets that back to the pits, that'd be a bloody good effort.
I think he's got a puncher as well on the right rear of the car. Could be wrong. Or the left. No, the left. The right left. Right front.
Yeah, I don't think he's got a puncher. I think it's very under pressure. But yeah, he did well to get that car back to the pits. But yeah, that's his chances for points, I think, over, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's pretty much, you must have parked the car up after that, because that car is not going to be handling well for the rest of this race. I think it's just pack up and go home job, really, for that particular car. Moose is already out as well, so that's down to 4 cars already retired from this race. They lose the last of the runners in 25th. But yeah, that's a big shame, because Eros, was wrapping around the points, but, for Moose as well, they wasn't in the high positions, of course, but it's still plenty of opportunity with strategy to make up good positions as well. So that is their race is done. We'll see them in Spa in a couple of weeks' time. Back at the front, Fournier is still holding on to this lead. 8-10 gap between himself and Dennis Jordan as well. Burlack still in 3rd, Siebel in 4th. Rolt still in 5th, and Air still 6th. These top 9 still welded together. Box seems to have had his internet has seemed to have recovered now.
Yeah, he's still having the odd moment. He had a bit of a moment coming into Sector 3, but it does look a bit more stable, thankfully. So hopefully he can make a charge back through the pack. Hopefully try and get an overcut with someone. Maybe that's sort of an evolution sort of strategy, isn't it? So we'll see as we race unfolds. But look at this. It was Ruel's actually hitting the limiter going down the straight in the slipstream of Siebel, Burlack, Jordan and Fournier. But there's a bit of a gap. Jordan's starting to pull out a little bit of a gap on Burlack. Only 8 tenths, but there's a big gap in the rest of the field. So, tiny bit of progression there from the top 2. But Queekle now up into 10th place for Madcape. So Madcape on a roll today, as is Mr. D'Amelio for YTF1, 15th place. So can 15th. We keep it right kill? Bloody hell, right kill on the soft tyres is in 16th place. We might expect him to be a player in the last couple of stints of this race, but yeah, 16th place, really good start for him actually. He managed to, I think he qualified near the back, but soft tyres, 16th place, could be a player towards the end of this race.
He's definitely made up some progress. Interesting to see how long he goes on these tyres.
Oh, Horrell, sorry to cut you off again. Bloody hell, I'm not having a good way, are we? Horrell, I don't know how that's happened, but he's gone out of the right swapper. Going into the first corner of Sector 3, I think he tried to make a move. Yeah, he did, and I believe that's Ormindinger has, let's say, jumped across him, took the racing line, and Horrell, good save, I must admit, to make a Formula Drift car. Very proud of that. But into the pits he comes for a new set of tyres.
Oh, the green stripes make black stripes down into the stadium section there, hasn't he? That was a great save, but a trip to the pits nonetheless. Probably plenty.
Oh, Queekle! What's he done?
Queekle's rolled under brake and he's hit the wall and has completely lost the car, and now he's lost his front wing as well. That is a crazy moment. He just speared left. No, speared right into the wall there and just completely catapulted his car into the wall, and then the car just rolled over 2 or 3 times. I
think that's a hardware failure. I reckon that's either a screen freeze or his wheels had a failure, because that's not under brakes. Actually, he's just sort of like I said, he's just gone to brake and his tyres has gone. Nope, he wasn't on the. I didn't see him on the grass or anything. I'll have to have a quick look when he's on board, but. That's a weird one. Very weird one. Like I said, if we just commentator's curse, I just told him he'd got into 10th. Unfortunately, let's have a little look. No, he's nowhere near the line. Nowhere near. I think he's had a screen freeze or a hardware failure or something. Very unfortunate. As Ayres comes into the pits for flag to flag.
So he's the first man on the pit. He's done a pit stop now. 17th place. He's on super soft tyres and clear air ahead of him. Now he's in that scrap. He's the first man to make a move. We're on lap 15. How is this going to play flag to flag? Will they manage to jump, for example, 2 ACRs ahead of him? They've got DRS train, of course. These guys for that will help him, as we said. In the midst of the chaos, Dennis Jordan's taking the lead, actually. We missed that completely.
Oh, yeah, he's just done into the hairpin. Yeah, he's just done into the hairpin. Not that.
So, that's a move. But let's keep an eye on these guys ahead. Are they going to start making pit stops now to react to the flag to flag here of Michael Ayres as we go through these last couple of corners? No one seems to be diving in. Everyone seems to be staying out a little bit longer. Obviously, we think they will stay out a couple of laps longer.
Yeah.
Than the as we got Liam DeVout also making a dive for the pits. Obviously, those tyres now, 16 laps old for the Hawkeye as well. D'Amelio also makes a move for the pits. Let's see what these guys. But right kilt there, obviously not stopped yet. He's making positions up as a result. Cooper and Pauline also do. Ayres as well goes through. As Matthews Mute's actually done the fast lap of this race.
Fournier has just made a move for the lead, down the hairpin into the lead again, passing Dennis Jordan. So back to status quo as we were. Queekle has retired from this race, unfortunately. So I think his car would have been absolutely toast after that. But now it's going to be interesting now. Obviously, Ayres onto the super softs, and we're interested to see what his pace is like. Actually, Fournier's going pretty quickly still. He's actually 2 tenths up on his best lap for the race so far, so he's not losing any pace, as it were. So we'll be doing a mid for low 14. Cooper and Paolini for 13th place. Paolini around the outside, a good move there from the Mesuric driver. Where are we? Where are you, Mr. I'm looking for Mr. Ayres. What's he doing? He's around about the same pace. He's having to avoid a wild Cooper, but his pace is pretty good. It'd be a low 14. So
not too bad, is it?
About the same, yeah. He's about the same, which considering he hasn't got considering he hasn't got any DRS, it's pretty good. But 13.9 from Fournier, so they're actually a little bit quicker. So obviously their tyres will end up going off soon. So let's have to see. But did anyone dive into the pits that time? I didn't see anyone, no. So a couple of laps left yet to see what's going on. But Ayres battling around Cooper and Paolini. This could be costing him. Davin Cooper has left the game. Obviously, he had that incident at the start as Dennis Jordan back into the lead.
And that was at the hairpin as well, so they're just swapping places lap after lap. These two at the front, with Burlak just watching watching these two get on with it. Ruart and Six was also scrapping away actually at the hairpin that time around as well. But looking down the field, where is the car of the flag? There's Michael Hayes. He's got past the green stripes of Cooper. He's now got Dino Paolini to negotiate in a few corners time. But speaking of negotiating, we have the Epic race car negotiating the pit lane as he comes into the pit. So comes in from second place. What tires are going to stick on this car through the corners? Just actually seeing out the corner of my eye, Fabio 60 incredibly wide through turn 1. Can't be doing that too many times, otherwise he might have a penalty.
Rual in as well.
Rual butchers in. Ah,
okay. So there's the first variance. Fournier onto the supers, and we have Rual on the softs. But he's got a drive-through.
He got stop-go penalty for Stefan Rual as well. So what a race that was so promising for Rual has now just been completely ruined. He is going to be fall right back, probably just to the outskirts of the points. But Michael Ayres also jumped Stefan Rual as well by quite a considerable margin, 2.5 seconds. He's getting Michael Ayres could be in a very, very strong position. He got Fournier just ahead of him, about a second up the road. So Michael Ayres has gained a lot, not a couple of seconds.
And that was battling people.
Yeah.
I was battling people as well. So I saw this yesterday. So funnily enough, after I retired from the race yesterday, I was engineering Mike, a teammate, Mike Quinn. And he was racing Matt Richards. And Matt came in a couple of laps earlier. Okay, that's fine. In about 2 laps, he'd made about 2 or 3 laps. He'd made 5 seconds on Mike. And I was like, how on earth has he done that? And I think it just shows how strong the undercut is. Obviously, Michael Ayres now in the net P2. And obviously Fournier's in the pits. Almost everyone coming into pits. Now, Keersmaker's into the pits. So I think he's got to be careful at the front here because, okay, they're going long and they'll have better tyres at the end, but they'll have to negotiate him. So Keersmaker's in. So I think we're looking pretty good for Fournier Ayres 1-2 at the moment.
We could do it. Keersmaker said comes out a long way behind Stefan Rual, but to say wasn't expecting him to be too far up, sort of behind Rual is where he sort of was. As well, back at the front, Jordan's got the gap to Burlak for a second and a half. Siebel now is just trying to start making his move now to the back of the Edge Esports car ahead of him. But these three have got to be pretty concerned. I'm surprised I haven't seen Yannick Bock in, actually.
Yes, yeah, I thought he'd be one to... Actually, he's got his pit light on now, so I'm expecting him in this lap. But he is one, like you said, he'd have been one who's taking a risk, just go for it. But Fournier past Kilk, he's going fast as well. He's about to set a fast lap of the race. I think this is going to be a slam dunk Fournier lead.
And Jordan's in, Siebel is in, Bock stays out. So we got the Jordan Siebel now in the pits. Now, where's Michael Ayres? This is the big player, I think. Well, Fournier's coming around the left, right now, and now through the final couple of corners. They're coming out of the pit lane. Now, Siebel has parked. No, there we are, in the pits at least. They're just parking up now. Jordan's on the softs. And he goes out of turn 1 now. Siebel's on the softs. But here comes Fournier now. He's attacking. I think Dennis Jordan's just about held on to this. But look at this. Ayres has passed Alex Siebel. Ayres has made the move past Alex Siebel now. And now we'll have DRS behind Wright Kilk's car. So he should be able to defend, at least from Siebel for now, and maybe overtake the Epic car ahead of him.
Speaking of overtaking, Fournier's going for it on Jordan. Oh, bit of a late move, but Fournier going up the inside and retakes 4th place and the next lead of this race. So, interesting there. Fournier must have had a bit of a... Ivanhoe Ayres had absolutely fantastic, a couple of outlaps and made it work really well, but Ayres into 6th place. So he has made pit stops, like you said, he's jumped both ACRs, so I think he's going to be about 4th now, based on pit stops. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens now as Burlak... Oh, Sixter stays out. That's interesting. Burlak comes in, as does the champion protagonist, who has obviously had a few issues today, Yannick Bock. His internet does seem to have calmed down now, thankfully. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, Sixter, that's an interesting one. 22 laps. Unless he thinks he can do super, ultra, which should be brave. But we'll see. I think it's the wrong decision personally. But he's done some funny stuff this season, so never count him out. Burlak comes out on track in 5th place. He has also been jumped by Michael Ayres.
I think you'll find that Michael Ayres would be the net P3. A net P3 here for Michael Ayres. That's a stunning job of undercutting there for Burlak. Right, Kilt there in 5th place. He's not really in this battle as such. He's on those soft tyres, but he's going to be a bit of cannon fodder for these guys because he's on very old, or 21.5 lap old soft tyres. Of course, Alex Siebel just making the move down the inside of the Estonian. And Yannick Bock now is under pressure from Stefan Roll. He shouldn't have to worry too much. He might not be aware that Roll's got that stop-go penalty. They're in 8th and 9th. Keersmakers, but also rounding out the 10 at this moment in time. But yeah, Fournier now got a nice gap there. Second gap now to Dennis Jordan. So that will be interesting. Here comes Fabio 6 down, finally pitting the last piece of this puzzle as he now approaches the pit lane now. 50 miles an hour, 80 kilometers an hour down this pit lane. What's he going to stick on? Actually, right, it's that. I can't, I can see him putting in some super softs here.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
And there he goes, yeah.
So that's interesting. So it's what Fournier's going to go on to next, really. So he played a couple of laps earlier in Dennis, and the fact that Dennis, who's quite traditionally this season he's been very easy on his tyres. The fact that he's felt the need to go into softs is telling me he's got to be a bit confused. I don't know what Jeff's going to go on to next. It's going to be interesting, so we'll have to see. But I think they have a gap now for these top two. They've got a 3-second gap now. They've got each other's DRS. It's going to be, at least for now, for this stint, it's going to be a Fournier-Jordan battle. Obviously, we'll see what's going on as Burlack up the inside of Ayres. Ayres had that podium position for a couple of laps, but now Burlack back onto the podium. And Burlack don't come out of this race just yet.
And look at this.
Very well.
Ayres is attacking as well. No, Burlack gets a good line through the corner there. There's now Siebel is now hunting down the flag to flag ahead of him. So after all these pit stops, everyone now, because even a right kilt's now pitted as well, we've got Fournier in the lead from Jordan. Burlack 3rd, Ayres 4th, Siebel in 5th, Yannick Bock in 6th, Sixter in 7th, Rolt's got a stop-go penalty take, he's running in 8th, Keersmakers 9th, Fidek's running in 10th, he hasn't stopped yet either in the Hawkeye. Milek's in 11th, from Chris Butcher in 12th, Leon de Vries in 13th, Zapala's 14th, and Dino Paolini is currently in 15th place, but now we've got Rolt now making stop-go penalties, he can drop him right back down the order, outside of the points, you would imagine. This is a long old pit stop now. Obviously, those 10 seconds he's going to have to serve. It's going to put him around about sort of 21st. Maybe even further back than that, actually. It's going to be a long way down. But that promotes Right Kilt back into the points. He's on those soft tyres again. So he's doing soft ultras. That must be the plan for Right Kilt, I imagine, now.
That sounds about right. I'd say that sounds about right. And he's obviously went quite a long way into this race, 23 laps. So what would that be? 22. He might have to go into a set of supers. We'll have to see how he goes. Next couple of laps, hard to read that one, but differing tyre strategies in terms of tyre wear as well. I mean, Sixer can manage to get 22 laps out of a set of ultras, and Kilt can only do 23 on a softs. So that's interesting to see. But Fardog looking good on 10th place. Obviously, has to take his pit stop yet, but he could be a player for some points later on. That'd be interesting. We could return to the points for the Hawkeye man, double world champion, obviously. Bock in 6th, slowly and surely recovering from his earlier issues. So we'll have to see how that goes. But these top two do have a bit of a advantage, shall we say, on the rest of the field.
Yeah, they're right up front as well. And Fournier's looking really strong here to add another name of race-winning teams here this season. Fournier could be here today. Obviously got the challenge of Jordan behind. But look at these top two, the main players so far. But these guys behind, look at this. You got all these different cars, 5 different cars in these between 3rd and 7th. Really, really close together. Sixers back in his fight. Back now up to 6th place after all these pit stops, running in 9th, of course. So he's made up a few places as well. And of course, he's got his championship protagonist directly ahead of him as well, Alex Siebel. So this is going to run all the way to the end, I feel. We're on lap, I'm just about to finish lap 25 onto the 26th lap. And this is really intriguing now.
Yeah, 41 laps to go. No clear as to who's going to win, really. Burlack is making a bit of ground, though. He is 6 tenths faster that last lap, actually. So obviously he's on those super softs, which are obviously one softer than Dennis, but they're obviously about 5 or 6 laps fresher than Fournier's as well. So Burlack could very well win this race. He's definitely not out of it. He's got a second gap to Ayres now. Ayres just about has DRS, but Burlack certainly is not out of this race yet. He could very well be a player in the last few laps. So still, like I said, 42 laps to go still. So anything can happen. He's dragging Ayres along with him. So these top two need to get a bit of a move on.
Yeah, so you wonder how much patience Alex Siebel's going to have behind Michael Ayres here. You know, he's going to have the pressure of Bock as well behind these two. So we'll see how much attacking he's going to do. This is normally the part of the race as well where we see Siebel really come alive, isn't it? You know, after that first stop, he normally puts the hammer down at some point and really starts some blistering lap times, doesn't he? Even though he's on those harder compound soft tyres today, you expect to see him later on in this stint really push on. But you're absolutely right. Peter Burlack, with fresher rubber, he can then control his own destiny more than, let's say, likes of Fournier ahead of him. So it's difficult to say at this point. Burlack's looking stronger. You know, later on, obviously, sector point eight, about a second behind, or less than a second behind Jordan. So he's going to get DRS down this particular straight one more time.
Yeah, he's half a second faster on lap. They all are. Burlack, Ayres, Siebel, Box, Sixter, all 4 tenths faster than Dennis that last lap. So, unless Dennis taking it easy, but I can't imagine why. But he may be taking it easy. But Burlack, look at that, he's now within striking distance. So, as are Ayres and Siebel and co. So, this is going to go back to a choo-choo train, I think.
Yeah, big choo-choo train indeed. You know, as these guys all going to be closing Constantina up together. Probably the next sort of 5 laps or so, we're going to see some more. Well, within the next 5 laps, probably see some more scrapping around.
Speaking of scrapping around, 12th and 13th, Zapala and Duval. Duval all over the back of Zapala. Zapala got a bit of a twitch on coming out of hairpin, but managed to control it nicely. So Duval's done a really good race, job this race, isn't he? Actually, coming from the back of the grid, up into 13th place. Obviously, fighting for 12th. Duval not been around for the last couple of rounds. Obviously, I think he's had some exams in real life, hasn't he? So it's good to see him back. So we know how quick he can be. I think he had a pole position earlier this year, didn't he, actually? So,
yeah.
Obviously, he has the pace. So it was good to see him back in the thick of things for Hawkeye. And we'll have to see where he goes, as I believe. No, he hasn't. Sorry, fourth could come in, but he hasn't quite come in just yet. Still in 10th place.
27 laps on those tyres. And now he's got his his driver actually behind him as well. Butcher's obviously, you know, David Follick's team boss in Red Arrow suit. So we got the owner
Siebel and Bock. Sorry, Siebel and Bock into the hairpin. Bock tried to make a move. I couldn't quite get it done. Obviously, these two battling out for the championship. 1 point between them. Can't get any closer. Bock's internet issue seems to have started to arise again. A little bit laggy there, but yeah, he's not holding back, is he?
No, he's not. You know, it's just, and I say that exactly the wrong time for him to have internet issues. Where when you're behind your main rival and you're trying to find a way past him, you know, it's always when you get issues like this as well, Tom. I'd say, luckily, I've never really had these issues myself, so I've been lucky. But it must be such a knock of confidence because you can't really 100% concentrate on the job in hand. You've got something like this niggling your performance and niggling your concentration.
Yeah, having had the issues myself, obviously, a couple of times. More than a couple of times, unfortunately. But yeah, you're right. You don't feel the confidence to make the move. Obviously, everyone around you hasn't got the confidence to defend. Doesn't really know what's going to happen. So Alex is probably thinking, oh, God, what the hell's going on? It does dent your confidence, but obviously, it's not stopping Yannick today. Here he goes, around the outside again. He's hitting the limiter. But Alex doing just enough there to parking it on the apexes. Trying to get a switch back. I don't think he's quite got a traction out of the corner to get it done. But yeah, it can. It really does knock confidence. Can't make the move. You can't. Your braking points are all a bit off. It's just trying to think about other things. What you're thinking, like I said, instead of 100%, you're thinking 99%. And obviously, you don't want to be doing that in a race such as this, especially when you're fighting for a title, as Yannick is. Obviously, it'd be his first title in GPVWC, let alone in Super League. So, lots to think about. But Ayres still doing a good job. I tell you what, he's actually kept on quite nicely with Burlack.
Yeah.
In 4th place. And Burlack, like I said, now all over the back. So, I don't know what it is. I think Jeff must just be like pacing himself, as it were, trying to let these tyres last. So we'll see what happens in the next few laps. Who's that? Oh, it's just Creeper. But shout out to Brasilia, 8th and 9th, both in the top 10. Like I said, consistent team. So looking very, very good so far. Butcher in 10th there as I think he has now come in, has Mr. Fidock down into 20th place. But on the Ultras, So expect to see some fast times from him in the next couple of laps.
Of course, for a Butcher as well, P10, this could be some important points for Red Bull Street Fighter season as well. You know, they've still on those 4 points. This could be their best result of the season if Butcher carries on. And he's got clear air ahead of him, clear air behind him, so he's not under much pressure so far. Just the pressure to perform rather than the pressure of battles as it stands. But P10 it is for them. They'll be happy with that down at Street Fighter. But, yeah, it's
Zapala. Zapala added Devar into the what's it called? The hairpin. I was going to say chicane to the hairpin. So yeah, left, right, and centre. Left, right, and centre. There's plenty of battles going on. No one's really, like I said, Chris Butcher's the only one who's got a bit of space between him, really.
Everyone at the front end seems to be in some kind of battle. Everyone's scrapping for points, pretty much, apart from Butcher. Seems to be scrapping for something. You know, Kidsmakers. Well, the two Brazilians actually a bit far apart. I must admit, it's 8th, 9th, and 10th are a bit spread out, but for 11th behind, obviously Sapala, Duval, and Kilk. Kilk's making some good progress actually on those soft tyres as well. Paolini in 14th. D'Amelio still YTF1 holding on to that single point as it stands. You know, it's good stuff from here. We've got Yukabeka Leilu trying to ruin that particular party down there at the moment. You know, trying to wheel in the YTF1 Cup by half a second lap at the moment. Alex Cooper there, 17th. Gyro 18th. Roll 19th after his stop-go. And then David Foddick ran out at 20 as it stands. Jordan still under pressure from Fournier. And again, the rest of the cars are making a small mistake actually in P6. He's got a 6 now behind. Again, no one's really out driving or outwitting the other at the moment, are they? They all seem to be sort of line of stern. It's almost like they're waiting for something to happen.
Yeah, well, anything can happen. As Fournier isn't in the lead anymore, Dennis is taking the lead. So there's something. Dennis Jordan back into the lead of the race. Fournier in second. I wonder if Dennis was just getting a bit bored. I think Fournier might have. I think he was controlling the pace a little bit. I think Dennis just think, right, no, if I want to try and beat Burlack today, who I think is the biggest threat today, I think he's thought, right, I need to get a move on here. And off he goes, off he pops. Good exit there from both drivers, actually. Fournier on the softer rubber. But yeah, Dennis felt the need to go straight to the left to try and defend his position, but I don't think Fournier's going to have enough. Or is he actually? He might. He's going to go for a bit of a dive, but things against it, and that's Dennis.
All 3 wide behind as well. Sorry to cut you off there, but Bok is passing. No, we've got Michael Ayres losing positions there, actually, to Fabio 6 there as well. So that was a bit of 3 wide action there, but 6 has passed. Michael Ayres there as well. You've got Siebel in 4th, Bok 5th, 6 to 6, Ayres in 7th there as well. But I think you're absolutely right with Dennis Jordan now. I think he's turned up the wick of the engine, potentially. He's turned up the boost. Just for a few laps, just to say, let's work out. Let's get this gap out, get a bit of gap now going. Just break away from Fournier, break away from Burlack, and see if we can manage the situation, you know. And if they want to catch up, hey, they can do the same thing. They can up their engine if they wanted to, if they really want to keep up. Let's have a look at these sort of lap times now. It comes across line one more time. You know, Jordan there, 13.9, Fournier 13.9, and Burlack 14.0, 14.1, 13.7 there from Bok as well. So they're all very close. Just Michael Ayres dropping back a little bit in time there. So they're all still really close, actually. But obviously, Fournier and co all have the benefit of DRS behind. But look at that there. Jordan again, once again, just getting to the left-hand side as quickly as possible. Try and break that toe a little bit.
Yeah, you're right. Ayres, obviously, I think he was first onto pit, wasn't he? So,
yeah.
He's got his pit light on now, actually. So I wonder if Ayres is thinking about a pit stop. So Ayres probably will be looking a bit vulnerable at the moment. Not to say in a couple of laps, though, as if he puts in another undercut performance like he did before, he's laughing, really. But there we go. What we've got, Dennis still in the lead, Jeff second. You know, obviously, Fournier came in earlier than everyone else around him as well, so his tyres will be a bit more vulnerable than the rest. But these boys on the softs are looking pretty good, aren't they? Bok, Siebel, and Jordan looking pretty comfortable on these softs. Obviously, you've got less worries to worry about than the supers. People on supers around the Burlack's obviously one of those ones who can make a tyre last forever. I think if he put the hards on, he could probably get 0 stop this race. Obviously, it's not allowed, but he probably could. It's Mr. Petter, one of the best drivers I've ever seen in R-Factor 2, full stop on tyres. So definitely one to look out for. Looking very, very speedy as well. 13.8, 13.7, 13.7. In fact, Dennis has set his new PB of the race that time round. So he's feeling the need to push. 6th and 6th. As Ayres has come in, put on some ultras. So I think Ayres is going for a free stop today, but
yeah,
Going to be looking pretty speedy. Tell you what, who is impressing me actually, Right Kilk, now in 10th place, and that's on merit. That is on merit. He's, and as far as last stint of the race, he's going to be absolutely mega.
Yeah, because of course he's going soft, and probably think ultra soft as well. But yeah, it's definitely on the free stop now, I would say, because he's pitted, second stop on that 33, not even halfway through this race. So we could expect a free stop here from Michael Ayres.
Tell you what you could expect as well, actually. You could expect a massive undercut into the lead of this race. He's that much quicker.
Yeah, because I say those ultra soft now. Obviously, guys at the front on old softs. We're going to see some fastest laps, aren't we, from Michael Ayres. Give it a lap or two as he actually makes the move there on Right Kilk up to P10. And I've got that clear air ahead of him as well. So expect some quick lap times. Well, 13.5 is currently the fastest lap of this race. Now just set by Peter Burlak. Now, let's see some quick lap times here from Ayres. I expect to go into the 12s on these
potentially. Absolutely, yeah. He'll need to bang a few of those to do it. But this is like I said before, Dennis just seems to have turned up the wick. Now he's gone to a 13.6 without DRS, may I mention as well, on soft tyres. So he's feeling himself quite nicely. Jeff did his, not quite his personal best, but a 13.6 from him. And obviously Peter Burlak sets fast after race 13.5. Siebel set his personal best of the race. Bock 13.6 as well. So they're all feeling the need to just absolutely go gun for it. Obviously, it shows that whoever's on first has to set the pace quite nicely, actually. Dennis looking obviously at the stop in a moment. But what is Ayres going to be doing now? Well, 10th and a half up into the first sector. Expecting the fastest lap. I don't know how much, but going to be fun to see. He'll probably jump a couple of people. I don't think he'll get the lead, but he'll jump at least 2 or 3 people, I'd have thought, in this next stint of the race. I don't know how long they're going to be until they come in, actually. So he's got quite a few laps to make some time. Oh, my word. He is flying through this second sector. This final sector is going to be fun.
Yeah, expect him to really be committed round these final few quarters and really gain the time as well on the drivers ahead of it, and see that fast lap be absolutely smashed.
Yeah.
From the flag to flag now from Michael Ayres, comes around the final corner. So 13.5 is currently fastest lap time so far, and a 12.8 for Michael Ayres there. So this is going to put him back into play. Speaking of getting back into play, Jeffrey Fournier is making a move down into the hairpin once again. So yet another overtake here for the race lead between these two drivers. Fournier overtaking Dennis Jordan there as well. Burlak still watching suit in third. 4th and 5th still Siebel and Bock. The gap's not really changed between those two. I haven't really seen any moves being attempted by these guys. 6th there as well, just holding on in 6th place. But really interesting stuff. Michael Ayres now actually closing fairly rapidly, I must say, to the back of Chris Butcher's car. Ahead in the Street Fighter. Street Fighter there, 9th place now for Butcher after a couple of stops admittedly, but again, looking good for them, isn't it? Kelk as well in 11th, doing a great job. Zapala 12th, Paolini 13th, Gaia 14th, and D'Amelio is now being having to defend in the ACR Stefan Roll this final points position.
Come on, D'Amelio. Come on, we're all hoping for you. We want YTF1 to get a point. Come on, it'd be lush. But Gaia looking pretty good actually as well. Pretty handy in the Street Fighter actually. 14th place. Looking pretty good for them boys today actually. Both of them in the points. So good on them. Good on the RBR SRS. It'll be good for them to get some real good points on the board. Like I said.
Yeah, it would do indeed. It's been a long time coming for them to get some results on the board. But I say, any points is a bonus. When you're down there, you can take anything that you can get. So let's see what happens for them and the rest of the people down there. Back at the front, still very much line of stern. Fournier holding on to lead. He's probably turned up the wick a little bit as well, just to get a bit of a gap. Michael Ayres has passed Butcher into the hairpin already, so he's probably in about a couple of seconds within a lap on Butcher there, and already flying down into the Mercedes-Benz grandstand. Through the left, through the right-hander, and on his merry way. So he's a man to look out for. Everyone at the front, I expect here, Tom, probably about 42, 43 for these guys. If they're thinking about going on ultras to the end. So we saw a couple of guys do like 21, 22 laps at the start, didn't we? It was a long old push. I think Sixter did it, didn't he? In the opening stint. But probably about 5, 6 laps. We'll see these guys going potentially. I think we've lost Tom Parker, potentially, so I'll carry on 4 now. So, go down into the hairpin once again. Bok and Sixter there. 5th and 6th nice and close to each other there. And looks like Ben Horrell's been lapped by these guys now. So he will not be wanting to participate too much in this fight. As they go through once again. Fournier holds on to 6/10 now between these two cars. Interesting way to go. That 38 now, of course. It'll be just about to finish. So you've got 30, just under 30 laps, 29 laps to go when they cross the line one more time. Anyone going to make an eye for those pits? Not at this moment in time. Here's making his own 7th as well. You're seeing him potentially make a dive for the pits earlier than the guys ahead of him. We've got Milnek there in 8th. Ayres there in 9th, Butcher 10th. No, nothing's really going down a bit further down the field. Rourke's up to 15th now. Fidux in 16th on those Ultra Softs. He's been flying up into some fast lap times since he's pitted. D'Amelio, Cooper, Harras, and Noah Chiller running up top 20. Seeing if there's a potential issue there. No, I think all is okay. Yes, yeah, we have lost Tom Parker indeed, so hopefully he'll be in the room in as quickly as possible. Or just a technical issue on his end. So we'll hopefully be back in a few moments' time. But until then, here you go. 6 cars still flying at the front of this field. Right, Kilt still in 10th, still holding on to the 10th from Sapala as well. You've seen Alex Cooper pit and Eros Musculi's also pitting as well. P23, P24, they're making pit stops as well. It's a yellow flag somewhere. Not quite sure what that's all about. Everyone seems to be okay so far. Actually racing further back. Butcher's just pitted. He's passing Harras. This for 17th place. This scrap here for all these places. Deval, Chiller there as well, 20th. But Butcher's just pitted. He's on the Ultra Soft now. He's going to try and make a move for the points. You know, using 10th when he pitted. The lead is just about to come up. Eros Musculi as well. So Fournier in first. Jordan second here. Belak in third. Now all the engineers for these teams as well would they're going to be looking at the gaps to see what's behind. There's not too much going on behind really regarding traffic. It's Milnek and Michael Ayres as well. Lap traffic are not really going to get in the way here. It's just fighting for position that's going to be the key. When these guys pit, we're going to go on to the 40th lap in about 30 seconds time or so. And Eros ahead is going to have his mirrors full of these cars racing their darnest to get, you know, as fast as possible. It's probably where Eros wants to be. In all honesty, after winning earlier on this season, did Eros as well when he comes through across the line there to start, so to finish the 40th lap of this race. To come through one more time, you know. And everyone's been really clean actually. I thought I'd see a few more mistakes actually at turn 1, like a couple of cars spinning here and there a little bit, but no, everyone's been really clean actually, so it's been good to see. Turn 1, very difficult corner because you're anti-cut on the inside of the corner, and then you've got a very bumpy curb on the outside of the corner if you get you done slightly wrong. Very easily suffer a little bit there. But Michael Ayres there now closing up to the back of Milnek's car. And back at the front. P4 here, got Siebel there in 4th. He's been under attack now from Yannick Bolt. So we're going to keep an eye on this battle next few moments now. Bolt there in P5, looking on the outside. Siebel defends really nicely there into the corner. And out of the other side, and then it's just the run up to stadium section once again. Use as much curb as you can on the inside to take the best run and get as much speed out of the corner as you possibly can. And lap 41, still no one making a move for the pits. I think not planning to pit for a few laps yet, so don't expect too much to be going on there. Looking further back, Florian Guy 13th, Fied at 14th for the moment. Stefan Roth in that final position 15th. They're all close up to the back of Florian Guy's car now, so that's looking pretty good there as well. You know, it's going to be a battle. I think it's going to go on pretty much to the end of this race. The back of the front. So Fournier's got this position at the front quite nicely, actually. Jordan's now attacking. Fournier's going defensive already. Jordan's trying to go around outside of the Frenchman, but that's not going to materialise. But what is going to materialise? Peter Burlak's up to drive up the inside. Can Burlak get past the German here? And Burlak there trying to keep his nose inside, but doesn't manage to do it quite. Now Siebel's going to be looking over the back of the Edge Esports car as well, but Burlak's really attacking now. As the tyres, of course, are getting older and older now on these cars now, particularly Dennis Jordan's on those soft tyres, more durable tyres, but seems to be losing grip. So it's going to be more and more difficult for these guys now to make a move, unless there's a mistake made, of course, by any of these guys ahead. That's good. I've got Fournier's going to make for the pits. Fournier's in the pits now, so the race leader's first man to jump in. Try and get this undercut now. So we've got 25 laps to go. I think we could see a risk as we got a car without a rear wing. Is that Liam DeVal has had an accident? He's lost his rear wing as well. We failed to catch it, unfortunately. But that's ruined the Hawkeyes' chance of points here today. We're going to repair that car, it looks like. Fournier's gone to super softs. So 25 laps to go. It's probably a sensible decision in fairness. 25 laps on ultra softs is going to be a long old arse that it would be. It'd be a lot to ask. But obviously, the longer these guys go at the front, the more likely they're going to go into ultra softs and put some really, really fast lap times at the end of the race here. But the top 5 there separated literally a couple of seconds. Yeah, at this moment in time, can't see anyone making any real moves so far. Michael Ayres has got past Milnick there as well. Interesting to see when Michael Ayres, how far he can take these tyres in, Michael Ayres. I think he's going to go to sort of like lap 50, maybe lap 55. Having a real short blast at the end of the race. He's definitely got to make it to the end. That's one thing for sure. But yeah, Liam DeVal has retired with that rear wing damage that he had on the back of that car. I don't know exactly how it happened. It looks like he can check the replay actually after the race. My prediction is, because no one else seems to have any damage on their car, I think he might have backed into the wall. Oh, as I'm just looking a bit further down, 13th place fight. It got very squiggly at the Mercedes-Benz stand. 3 wide into the corner. Christ, guys, let's give it sense about this. But Butcher passes Stefan Roll back into 14th place, trying to follow the Hawkeye edge. It's following guys all over the grass. What's going on there? This guy's now pulling over. He's let his teammate by there. I think guys just had a moment actually. Let's double check on my camera, see exactly what happened here. And he did. He just lost the back end, lost the grip, and he's had Fidek and Butcher's got past him. Stefan Roll there in 15th. As well, but the Red Bull Street Fighter is still fighting in the points, but Butcher's looking really quick on these ultra soft tyres as well. Back at the front, we've got Saint 5 at the front. Still looking to keep an line and use the first one to blink. Obviously, Fournier's already blinked as well. He's running in P9. And he's trying to catch up to back of Milnick and Michael Ayres ahead. So Michael Ayres provisionally has got the race lead because he says he's well ahead of Fournier. He's been on those ultras for a long time. Obviously, Ayres is going to have to pit again at some point. So I expect to be there, in the theoretical race lead for too long. He's got a nice gap to Fournier nonetheless at this moment in time. Jordan there from Burlak, Siebel, Bot and Sixter. Nothing else too much going on further back. It looks pretty much as I saw it earlier on today, or just now. I say slipstream's so powerful down here. It keeps the cars all nice and close. So 2 weeks time as well, I've got Spa. It's going to be very, very close there as well. Of course, a power circuit. Also plenty of slipstreaming DRS to overtake on as well. So that'll be in 2 weeks time. Hopefully we'll see some great action there, as well as fight for the championship and the battles for the teams and drivers' championship. We'll have to spice up a little bit more. There are some teams there. Teams like Ednis, who have struggled a bit today. I've got a spin there. Ben Horrell spun into the stadium section on the grass, but everyone's managed to avoid him, thankfully. Ben Horrell there with a spin in the green stripes there as well. He's well down the field actually. He's back down right at the back of the field. He's the last runner actually, down in 24th. Next car up the road is 18 seconds ahead of him, Riveros Moscuri. It's been a bad day off, hasn't it? Really? Expect the level of Ednis there to be a lot further up front, at least fighting sort of top 10 area. Both cars after Sapala's good run at Silverstone. Not materials, obviously Sapala's not doing a bad job up in 11th. But Masculi's had that, obviously, that incident earlier on, which ruined his race. And it's been a recovery drive, but it's been a struggle as well for him. So, not expecting him to get any points today unless something miraculous happens for him to gain those places into the points. Dennis Jordan there, still maintaining the lead. Fournier's got past Milnek, and he's putting some fast times now, trying to extend his race lead, so to speak, on the track. He's got a long, long way to go. Still got 21 laps to manage and negotiate before the end of this race. Again, everyone staying out one more time. So I reckon at lap 50 we'll see the leaders pit. I think. But speaking of pitting, Kismaker's making a dive into the pit lane now. What's he going to put on here? 8 kilometers an hour down the pit lane. Obviously going to get passed by Ayres and Fournier. He's going to lose a few positions here. He's going to stick on. He's putting on the ultras. The first man to do so. He's going to go to the end of the race here today. So he's going to come out in P11 behind Sapala. Obviously on his fresh ultras. He's going to set some real bankers here. Speaking of bankers, Fournier there, 12.7. You know, he's in P7 at this moment as well. He's trying to look into closing on the leaders ahead and gain the ground to extend his theoretical lead on the track. What's the current gap between himself and the leader? Gap between him and Dennis Jordan, 15.1 seconds. So at the moment, he would definitely be in the lead, I reckon, with that. Because I think pit stop here is looking about 18 or 20 seconds around that sort of time if we have a smooth pit stop. Obviously, he's going to be building that gap all the time. Jordan there goes again one more time. Lap 47. This will be end of. But Siebel here pits. He's the first man to make the move. So it's going to be 20 laps here for Alex Siebel to see what tyre choice he's going to stick on this car. I think it's going to be ultras. That'd be the sensible decision. As he goes down to the very far end of the pit lane across the champion team. Obviously, get their first pit stop at the end of the pit lane, and there he goes on the ultra soft tyre. He's going to come out ahead behind Milnek, ahead of Sapolo, which is important. Right, Kilt also pits from 10. Here's the move. So we've got Fournier in 6. Siebel's quite a way down, actually, down around about 5 seconds down the road on Fournier. So still a big gap to manage. But on this fresh ultra, you expect him to wheel in that gap a little bit. Michael Ayres now making the move on Ben Horrell, lapping him. He's currently P5. Fournier and then Milnek, then Siebel there. So that's 5, 6, 7, and 8. Going back into the same section once again. Burlack's taking the lead. Missed that. Burlack, I think that might have been a pass into the hairpin. Yeah, I think he has. And it was Dennis. No, it wasn't in the hairpin actually. Where was this? It was. Oh, I'm looking at lap. I'm looking at lap before, ain't I? That it was definitely the hairpin, wasn't it? Yes. It was the hairpin that he did make the move. That as Burlack now pits from the lead. So he's just taking the lead, of course. What's he going to do to capitalise here? Ultrasofts, of course, is the order of the day. They're all pitting. Burlack, Bock, Sixter. They're all in the pits now. Yeah, all Ultrasofts the order of the day. Who's going to get the quickest pit stop here? Sixter's got a decent stop. They all come out line astern. And Siebel's retaking a lot of them. Siebel's ahead. So obviously he's got the warmer rubber, and he's for now got the jump. So you're going to push on now. And we said, you know, Siebel's always very good. At some point, he makes a move, catapult him up through the field a little bit, and there he is, up to P4. But originally, got to say, his provisional P2 here, because Ed's going to have to pit. He's really struggling on those ultra soft tyres now, just power sliding out of the hairpin. And now Fournier's going to be all over the back. He's trying to get this move done as quickly as possible. Will be the Frenchman on the flag-to-flag driver ahead of him. It's going to be difficult though, because that car's still going to be a quick car at flag to flag. I mean, he's on older super soft. It's not going to be an easy task. Let's see what he can do now. Dennis Jordan's now in the pits as well from the lead. It's a nice run into the pits there as well. So let's look at all the cars around him. See what happens here. So here he goes into his pit box. There he is, the third pit box down the pit lane. Ultra softs on that car. He leaves the pits. I'm going to go on board with him, see what goes. So Siebel goes past. Burlack goes past. Another car going along on his left-hand side as well. Yannick Bock goes past. But he gets ahead of Fabio Sixter, importantly, now DRS. Red Archer's going to have down out of turn 3. Can he get the slipstream? I'm on board with Fabio 6 He pulls out from behind the German. They're going to go side by side into the hairpin bend. It looks like 6 got the line here to make the move done. Let's have a look. Jordan brakes quite late. 6 got the move down the inside and he gets the job done. So Jordan's really lost out in here in the pits. He's lost what? A number of places. The Fournier now leads for Michael Ayres, of course. He's passed him. The gap between himself and Alex Siebel, about 3.8 seconds to go into the same section. So Fournier is closing he's been closed down here from the champion, but they're still looking here to potentially get this move done. It's on the slightly fresher tyres, of course, so he's going to have fresh rubber at the end of this race as Michael Ayres does pit. Just to see where he comes out, actually. He's made lap 50. I thought he'd be roughly around that sort of area. Going to go into his pit box. It's going to be around sort of P9. You kind of expect him to be. As now Butcher comes around the final couple of corners. Gets very sideways, actually. Here goes Michael Ayres. Going to come out of the pits. It looks like it is going to be that P8 for Michael Ayres. He's had a really strong day today, hasn't he? Flag to flag. And it looks like that's as low as he's going to finish. Of that fresh rubber now, of course. We should get getting away from Butcher quite handsomely. Kalelu also makes a move into the pit. And off camera, I've noticed that Luca Di Melio's really dropped back. I think he's had an off somewhere. He's down in P22. Keep an eye on him, see if he's going to make a move for the points today. Looks like that's going to be a bit of a tall ask now for YTF1 now to get themselves into the points. But he was looking so always around that area, wasn't he? 15th, 16th, 17th. For a long time. Looks like it's just dropped away at the wrong moment. And looks like they're going to struggling now to get into the points. So Fournier still leads by 2.8 seconds. So Siebel's really closing him down. Burnock in 3rd. Box still 4th. 6th to 5th. Jordan 6th. And Kearsmaker's there on his ultra soft side. He's the first man to come onto the ultras. Just to see Box actually the fastest lap of this race as well. 12.4. Let's see what these guys can do at the front. I might see some lap times at the end of this race into the sort of 11s or the low 12s as well. Siebel there, closing the gap now, 3.1 seconds down the straight. But I think where we're going to really see the gap close is down into the stadium section as well. Twisty technical section where this fresh ultra soft will really come to play against the slightly more used ultras, supers of Geoffrey Fournier as well in the Epic car. But a great day here for Epic potentially. Fournier's just got to keep pounding round as quickly as he can. But it's one of those you can either finish up really highly or drop off like a stone and finish like 4th or 5th or potentially as well. So we still don't know where the Frenchman's going to finish in this race, of course, like everybody else. But Fournier's got more to lose, and with those older tyres as well, more chance of having something to lose as well. With those potential drop off the tyres as well. Just going to run you through the remaining positions from the top down. So Kearsmakers, Michael Ayres, Milnek, Butcher in 10th, Bright Kilk, Stapala, Paolini in 13th, and it's Cooper in 14th for the green stripes, and Real in 15th under pressure here from David Fiduk for 15th. You know, it's his last points position. Bollocks on the softer rubber, of course, on the ultra softs. You got Real on the supers, so that is going to be interesting. Battle hopefully till the end of this race as well. See a car pulled over. Florian Guy has pulled over out of the exit of the pit. What is going on here? Always something weird seems to happen to Red Bull Street Fighter at the most random times. Let's see what's happened here. Is it a technical issue? Well, he's going again. What is going on here? Not going again. Let's see what happened. Oh, he spins. He lost it. He lost it going through turns. He's one of the first roads to actually do that today. Then he pulls over at a very strange place. And he stops the car and just gets going again. It's almost like he's reset. He's looked at some settings potentially on his wheel, but he's dropped all the way down to P24. You know, so he was looking probably some points earlier. That has fallen right away. Now Fournier is going to be under pressure now, isn't he? He's really going to be under pressure because we have got... There's another car's actually just pitted, I think, as well. Fournier now 1.4 seconds gap. That's coming right down There's Butchers in the pits from P11 as well. And now Real and Fight Exciting for 14th now. So someone who was in the points has pitted as well. This top 6 still status quo. No one's really making any moves. I see Butchers now come out in 13th place. Ahead of Real and Fight, that battle there. So again, looking good for Red Bull to at least get a handful of points here today. So the gap's coming down with it'll be 13 laps to go across as they come across the line this time around. And the gap's now coming under a second, so DRS will be available for Siebel. Probably this lap or maybe the next one as well. So DRS now open now for Alex Siebel. The assault has begun. And through 13 laps to go, you can't see Siebel really losing this, can you? He's have DRS through down straight, obviously down into turn 2 as well. He's got DRS and now down this straight as well. Out of 2, out of 3. There's his detection. He's going to have DRS all the way down this straight as well. And there it goes. So now Fournier can now start to feel the pressure that's going to be applied to him. Street Fighter car as well. Up the road, I think that's foreign guy's car. Up the road a little bit. But look at it, top 6 is now concertinaed once again. But I say it's looking less and less likely now for Fournier to have a chance of winning this race, but anything can happen. Could be a big incident somewhere potentially, and while he's still in the lead, enjoy it. That's what I'd say, you know, for Fournier. He's in a cracking job today, and this will do his championship position no harm at all, you know, coming into this round. You know, a little bit behind. I think it was Eros. I think he was behind at the time. Or no, I could be mistaken actually with that. I think it's quite a ways down on the championship. It's been a frustrating season for the Frenchman in some cases. Obviously, the controversial Monaco race that he had with a round ban. And here he is in P1. Still for now. Time for him to turn the wick up because now Siebel's going to be attacking. The reigning champion here at ACR. He comes across the DRS once again, and there he goes with the activation. Burlock as well closing up into this as well. Do not rule him out in this as well. He's closing up to the back of Siebel as well. But Burlock, Yannick Bock there in P4. They're all getting closer and closer to each other. That's one thing for sure. A bit further back actually, we just take our eyes away for 1 second. We've got Wright Kilkin Knife, who's had a great day so far. They're now trying to make the move on the Estonian around the outside into the hairpin. It looks like Milnick's going to get that job done, is he? He's a bit sideways. But there he goes. Milnick is passed into 9th position. Kilton trying to fight back, actually. No. Yeah, Milnick's got that job done. So Brasilia, 7th and 9th for the minute. That's going to be a great day for them. Much needed boost in their championship. Battle there with the likes of Edenis. Epic as well ahead of them. Epic going to have a good day so far, aren't they? You know, they're in for a lorry load of points. Takeaway here today at Hockenheim. Top 6 there. Still line of Stern as well. But here comes probably Siebel's best chance so far. The gap now 6.5 tenths. Goes into the DRS activation and he's going to be closing that gap down to the Frenchman. And it's interesting how Fournier is staying right down the straight and not taking the shortest lines. Foreign Guy has had enough. He has retired from the race. No points again for Flo Gaia. Fortunate stuff there for him. That's it's been a real season struggle for him, hasn't it? You know, has not got going whatsoever as the ex-champion. One more time, and it looks like Fournier has actually managed to hold on to this gap. I wonder if Siebel's just holding back a little bit, trying to save those tyres because he knows that Burlock's got the fresh up behind him. Bock, Sixter, and Jordan looking to pick up any pieces that are left behind by these guys in front of them. They've all been super consistent today, haven't they? They've all been welded together all race long. It's been a fabulous show so far. You know, we've got 10 laps to go now, but this to be settled by all of these guys. There we go once again. Siebel again, similar sort of gap, 0.6 of a second. He's in the slipstream once again. Burlack's trying to close up the course in the Quasar-powered Edge Esports car, the only Quasar engined car in the field. And look at that, around the outside, Fabio 6 trying to make the move on Yannick Bock around the outside. What a great move that is from the Red Archer driver. Look at that, the Austrian there. 4th in the championship, but what a great pass. Straight around the outside of Yannick Bock. Now trying to do the same job here. Peter Burlak trying to go around the outside. Can't quite do it. Gets a bit sideways. 6th there up to 4th. Evolution here. Got obviously the front row of this grid. Now down to 5th and 6th. So it's not planned out the way they wanted to here today. Yeah, Fabio 6 on the march. All battles happening all up and down the field, even outside of the points. You got likes of Musculi, Chiller, D'Amelio, Cooper. Them 4 are back for 18th place as well. It's really going on strong. Fournier is still managing the situation here. It's like the freshness of Siebel's tyres has sort of gone away a bit as he runs very wide out of turn 1. There, Fournier trying to get a good run out of the corner. If I was Fournier, I'd probably try and do what Dennis Jordan did earlier and stay as left as possible down the straight. That's what Jordan tried to do to break the toe earlier. Obviously, Fournier's not seen that memo that Evolution had. As again, Siebel can't make the move. Box trying to make the move back on 60, but can't do it. George is holding back for the time being. They all come through once again, but Siebel's getting closer and closer. There's no respite here for the Frenchman or any of these 6 drivers at the front. They're all attacking with all of their heart and their desire. You know, as if they was all fighting for this victory here today. Of course, you know, it's all very close. And interesting, it's one small error from one of these guys, and there could be a big incident potentially as well. Let's hope they all keep it clean, of course, and all keep it safe on the racetrack. You know, something big could really kick off here with now 8 laps to go to the end of this race. Fournier again, once again through turn 1. The gap's still sticking the same. Now has Epic here pulled a bit of a master stroke here, or is Siebel just potentially just biding his time? Is Burlak biding his time as well here to try and get this move done? Siebel there again. 6/10 again. So down the back straight one more time. Siebel again. Look at that. Fournier defending again really early. Out the slipstream again. And he defends that inside line. Burlak's now sniffing down the inside of the champ. Alex Siebel couldn't quite get it done. All retain their positions once again. But that's definitely going to be the... If there's a move going to happen, it looks like it's going to be into that airpin, doesn't it? It's really shaping up there a few times now with Siebel trying to make the move. Burlak's now putting the pressure on Alex Siebel to go into the stadium once again. Can't quite do it. I think there's a bit higher downforce on the ACR, VBM, whatever you want to call it. Through those corners there as well. Burlak there. You know, I think they've gone for a lower downforce setting on that, as eSports, as Tom Parker very rightfully said earlier on. It's going to help them down the straights, but not so much through these corners. The first couple of sectors, they look really good here at the edge. Esports got again, Siebel runs wide. Can't do that too many times. Unfortunately, you know, he could essentially incur some penalties if you do that too many times in the race. Stuart will be keeping an eye on that. Again, one more time down here again. And of course, Fournier's now put up a little bit of a gap actually to Mr. Siebel. And it's going to be no threat this time around from the champ. They're all lined still once again. Further back, it looks like Milneck's going to be under pressure from Mike Kilk again. But I don't think this will utilise that time around. Real is still the last man in the points as it stands. So a few points knocking around here and there. Still potentially up for grabs. It's battle up front, you can't keep your eyes off it really. It's these 6 that have really made today's race a stunner. You know, that's 6 laps to go now. And they're all still welded together since the first lap. So it's not changed at all. It's been a great race. Many different changes for the lead, of course. Let's go around one more time. And as the laps go on, you've got to say Fournier's position's looking stronger and stronger. You know, the gap's not come down at all. Obviously, Siebel's in the dirty air, wearing out his ultra soft tyres harder than, of course, the super softs ahead of him. It's on Jeffrey Fournier's car. So we've got to see how this is materialising. Now, Burlak's going to be all over the back of Siebel's car. There's only 3 attempts to come across. Now, of course, Siebel's got DRS to help him along. Is Burlak going to make the move down the inside? He's having a look. He's alongside the champion here. And there's a bit of contact, I think, a bit of right on the curb. Siebel just about gets away with it. don't rule out Sixter as well here. He's going to be sniffing all the back of Burlack. But Burlack's on the fresher tyres slightly as well. Contact between Siebel and Burlack in the braking zone as well. They get away with it. Slightly contact to Siebel's side pod. Once again, with 5 and a bit laps to go, it's really shaping up here to be getting a bit more feisty now, isn't it? Everyone's sort of a bit more desperate here to make the move and make the pass here for the podium, or trying to just get themselves a better position on the track. In this finish, Fournier's going to be loving it, because if Burlack and Siebel are going to be attacking each other all the time, then Fournier just always break a little bit of sigh of relief for the time being, at least. Let's go into turn 2 one more time. Burlack again trying to get the run on Siebel, but that's not really happened too well this time. Looks like Siebel's going to have a bit of a rest, at least from this lap. Propeller Burlack, and he's going to be attacking. He's attacking now. Fournier, even harder than before. They're side by side into the braking zone, into the hairpin. Fournier's going to hold that inside line again, and Siebel can't capitalise. Now Burlack's already again. He's sniffing all over the back of the ACR rear wing. Burlack's trying to make a move again around the outside. Now can he hold it? He's got the high ground. Not quite. He's got the wing on the inside. Siebel's going to have to leave a bit of space. It's a good drive. There's a bit of contact as well between the two. Burlack, Siebel's defending really hard there. Burlack can't get the move done. Siebel's hold on to that position. Fournier's bolting up the road. He's bolting up the road here, and this could be really, really key for the race. Now with just over 4 laps to go now, so around these couple of corners. There's going to be 4 to go now. You've got Sixter and Bock also running really, really close as well. Bit further back, just to mention, Milnick, Kilk and Zapala battling for 8th, 9th and 10th. Those 3 are closing up together quite hard as well. That's a point. There's a yellow flag. Where has the flag to flag gone? There it is. Michael Ayres has retired. Ayres has got an engine failure. He's had an engine failure. I've just wondered where he was then. Alex Cooper's also had an engine failure as well. What a disaster there for flag to flag. He was looking so good all race long. And then all of a sudden, just at the worst possible moment, their races. Wow, it's really, really sad state of affairs there for Michael Ayres. With blown up engine for both Alex Cooper and Michael Ayres as well. Running in P8 at the time when the engine just goes bang into just before the stadium section, it looked like to me. Pouring out that car, and there it is. Michael Ayres out of this race with a blown engine. Alex Cooper as well with a blown engine as well. So this is going to be key now. Engine management seems to be the key. If anyone's got any worn engines they put into these cars, they seem to be going now. So let's keep an eye out for that. Any signs of smoke on any of these cars as well? It's a telltale sign of an engine blowing up or on its last legs. Here they go one more time. Siebel's all over the back of Geoffrey Fournier. And this is the closest that he's been for a while. Fournier's going to go defensive straight away. Here comes Fournier. Going to pull out from the slipstream of the Epic Racing car. He's going to just drive past in a straight line. Is Fournier going to defend? He is. There's a bit of contact, isn't there? A bit of wheel rubbing. Looks like Siebel's got the position. The pass has been made at last. Alex Siebel takes the lead of the race here at Hockenheim for the first time today, actually. But Fournier's attacking again. You've got to real meat on those tyres to really attack, though. That's the problem. Siebel's made the move. Burlack now going to be next to 9. He's going to probably try and do the same next lap around. But expect Siebel just to drive away now in the last couple of laps or so. We've got 2 more laps to go after this one, of course. And further back, Milnick, Kilk and Zapala even closer than ever, 8th, 9th and 10th. Can't really keep an eye on that battle, unfortunately, because there's so much going on at the front. Around one more time through turn 1. Oh, we'll get a bit sideways, says Sixter into turn 1, but he holds on to it. He hits that anti-cut on the inside. Car jumped up a little bit, but it survived through the corner. And watch out for Fournier. He's in big trouble. He gets very sideways on the power. And now Burlack's he's already got, well, Fournier's also got DRS as well, but I think Burlack, he's going to be struggling around the outside there. Sixter's got a great run. Great run onto the back of these cars as well. Fournier defends for all his life into the hairpin. Burlack tries to get the drive out of the corner. Seems he's got a decent run, but not enough to get alongside the Frenchman. Sixter as well, look at this. He's all over the back. Box also trying to pick up any piece. Round the outside goes Burlack on Fournier. And he's going to get the job done. He's got the higher ground, and through he goes. Through goes Edge Esports up to second place. Peter Burlack on his return here to the series. A great move there on Fournier. It's 6 hours. Fournier's lifted off. He's let 6 to go by. That's an interesting one. Wasn't sure what that was about. We've got a lap to go now. And Alex Siebel looks in a commanding position here to win this race. Burlack's going to go on the attack, of course. He's under a second. He's still at DRS, of course. 6th for him, 3rd. Fournier in 4th, Bok, and Jordan 5th and 6th. Not looking good for those guys. Just going to quickly running down the bottom half of the points. Butcher in 11th, Paolini in 12th, White at 13th, right in 14th, Sergi Harris in the second of the flags in the points at the moment. But here comes down into the hairpin once again. Siebel is now under pressure from Burlack. Burlack's really got the run out of the turn 2, of course, and he's made it. He's done it. Burlack's taken the lead on the final lap. Half a lap to go. Unbelievable stuff. Burlack's just, with those younger tyres on that car's really made the difference. Siebel's tyres have given up the ghost. And Burlack has driven past the champion there with considerate ease down the straight. Burlack now with half a lap to go, or third of lap to go now, is going to go into the final few corners. Just so you know that both Evolutions have also passed Fournier's car. But Peter Burlack here, almost out of nowhere you could see. Obviously, Tom Parker did predict he'd win this race, and indeed he's done it. Peter Burlack round the final corner to take the checkered flag here at Hockenheim. You know, for Edge Esports, that's a tremendous job on the last lap. What a dramatic end to this race it's been. And for Peter Burlack, an outstanding job. Siebel in second, Fabio 6th to 3rd, still on the podium. Bok then from Jordan from Fournier. Kirsmakers there in 7th. Milnek to make it 8th, to make it Skura Basilius 7-8. Kilkin 9th, Sapala in 10th. Butcher's going to come at home in 11th position to give Red Bull Street Fighter their best result of the season. So the emergencies worked for them. You know, emergency contract for Butcher, but he's got the job done. And David Felix retired. He's blown his engine up on the final lap. He was inside the points. I'm sure he was inside the points, and now he's blown up. And I'm sure something happened to him earlier on this year as well. On the final lap, he was inside the points, and something's happened. He was running 13th, and the engine's given up the ghost. And what a disaster for the double champ. The engine's gone bang, and that was it. Can't believe it. So Paulino is 12th. That's Purrington Real 13th. For Harrison 14th. Yuka Pakalelu gets a point for Mazurek as a result. Miscudi 16th. Demelio 17th. They're just outside the points there. WTF1 in the end. They were Chilla 18th. Alderminger 19th. Fidex trying to roll across the line 20th. But that's not going to happen, is it? The engine's gone bang, and the kettle has well and truly been boiled, hasn't it? That is it. David Fidex out. But Peter Burlack, what an outstanding effort there. And to lead literally his first lap of the race with half a lap to go, and he led on those crucial laps, the final lap, the lap that matters. And for Quasar as well, I think that's their second win this year. For Quasar as well, for Edge Esports as well, a great effort there from him. Siebel and 6th as well. We're going to see in a few moments' time as well in the interview. But what a stunning end to that race that was. I'm going to celebrate with a can of orange. So yeah, really, really amazing job there from Peter. We're going to get some interviews in a second, but for you guys at home, I mean, we've had the month break, and what outstanding race we've had in the end there. It was building, wasn't it? It's building tension, building momentum. This race was, and in the end, you know, Peter Burlack come out on top. So really outstanding stuff there from everybody who's taken part here today. So, what an eventful race that was. So, unfortunately, you know, Tom Parker was not able to join us in the end. So, apologies about that. Hopefully, we're back to see him in a couple of weeks' time. Wow, I'm a bit out of breath after that. That was a crazy, crazy race. Indeed. So, obviously, 2 weeks' time, we're going to be at Spa. And wow, the championship's going to really look a bit different. Obviously, Siebel now extends his championship lead by a few points. Biggest move today would have been Peter Burlack, of course. You know, Burlack not really in the standings too much, was he? beforehand, but he's going to jump right up in the standings as well. The Fabulous Six as well could be on the coattails now of Dennis Jordan as well. It could be very, very close in the championship as well. I don't know the exact points as of yet, so we'll obviously see after the event to see what's happening there. Yeah, what an event. I'm just going to give a couple of minutes, see if people are wanting to come in for an interview or two. Sorry about that. My throat's a bit sore and I'm a bit out of breath, so I'm just taking back a bit by tonight's. Right, I think the break is taking the life out of my voice a little bit, shall we say? But yeah, outstanding stuff from everybody today. Everybody finished. A bit of controversy here and there, but largely a very clean race, and a pleasure to be back as well. So, huge congratulations to the guys who did well. Obviously, Spa as well. I mean, we said at the start of the point, this is a driver's circuit, a track everyone likes. You can overtake on. We have more of that as well in a couple of weeks' time at Spa, and of course at Monza 2 weeks after that as well. So I think not getting any interviews so far. I'll tell you what I will do is actually I've got someone waiting up in the interview room actually, so I might as well we'll just kill a bit of time here. Might as well introduce Chris Butcher to the broadcast room and congratulate him on Red Bull Street Fighter's best result of the season. P11 there, Chris. He was in the mix all race long here today. Really, really good stuff. Sort of 9th, 10th, 11th, that sort of area. Really strong performance there, Chris. So for Red Bull Street Fighter as well, and for yourself, a really good day at the office.
Yeah, really pleased with that. Obviously, I've had a few Super League appearances in the past, but they've all sort of been really, really last minute, sort of 10 minutes before the race. So, glad to have a bit better preparation for this one. And, I can't thank the guys at Street Fighters, if they gave me a good car to drive today. Really nice setup and, fun race. Just keeping myself out of trouble and managed to score some decent points.
We saw as well earlier on in the race, actually, you're racing your team boss as well, David Feyerdick. So it must have been a good battle to get yourself into as well. Obviously, in a bit different strategies, of course, I think at the time, but still nice to see. But
it's good to put one over on him.
Yeah, exactly. It's honestly, Chris, it's a pleasure to see you enjoying racing on the top level as well. We all know what a talent you are. Obviously last year's champion of Formula Challenge as well. Putting some decent performances in Super League as well, not necessarily having the luck you deserve, shall I say. You've had some bad luck as well, but I'll say it's a pleasure to see you coming up on having a good result today, Chris. So congratulations on that. Will we expect to see you more Super League races potentially this year? Maybe one or two more, or?
We'll see, because I've got a busy second half of the year, obviously, with Super League Lights finishing off and ITC coming up. So we'll see. It really depends on that, and whether there's any vacant seats, later on this season. I'd love to have another go at it, but sort of depends on a lot. But the level in Super League is just something else. As you know, I'm sort of used to being, mixing it up in the top 10, and then to be in qualifying, the top 20 separated by less than a second. It's just ridiculous, and I think it's testament to the talent in the league. So it's great to be part of it. So I'd absolutely love to be back.
Well, I hope to see you, if not later this year, I hope to see you next year. At least
that's the plan.
full-time.
Hopefully that works out.
Fingers crossed, Chris. But for tonight, at least, congratulations, and then, well deserved few points there for yourself. So well done, and hopefully see you again soon.
Cheers, thank you.
So now we're going to bring in the race winner of today's race here, Peder Burlak. Just almost out of nowhere a little bit, Peder there. He was always in the mix there to get the win today, Peder, but to get pretty much almost the last possible moment, stealing it out of Alex Siebel's nose there. That was really, really impressive, Peder. It's one of the moments of the season, I think, Peder. That was quite something.
Thank you, yeah. I was just kind of saving my tires for the first two stints. Like, I had to push at one point when the gap opened up in the second stint, but after that, I knew that I wanted to be the first car behind P1, so I can kind of pace myself and then make the move when it counted. And I just about managed to do that. I thought I wouldn't because the gap was like 1.5, but Alex's tires were gone, and I think he had some damage as well. So yeah, that was a bit unexpected there in the last lap, but really happy with that, and really nice battles last stint.
Yeah, I'll say all race long he was in the mix there, wasn't he? Basically like top 3, top 4, that sort of area, all race long, Petter, and it's good to see on your obviously on your return, of course, of the series as well. But coming in with the victory as well to really boost Edge Esports' championship position as well. So, firstly, a pleasure to have you back, Petter, and secondly, I hope to see a lot more of you. But you plan to do some more races now to the end of the season?
Yes, at least the next 3 races, I believe. Then
Excellent.
I'll see if anything else comes up. But other than that, yeah, I should be set for the next 3 races.
Excellent. Of course, we've got Spa coming up and then Monza as well. So you've got some great tracks to look forward to, Petter, So congratulations on tonight. Obviously, a well-deserved beer, I think, for yourself after that performance at the end there, Petter. But great to see you and look forward to seeing the next few races.
Yeah, thanks, David.
So that is that. And now we're going to bring in the man who had it taken away from him, Alex Siebel, here today. It looked almost like it was on a plate, wasn't it, the win? But I think Petter with his slightly newer tyres as well, he just managed to grab the win from under your nose almost there, Alex. But to say you had a strong drive today, Alex, and obviously after that month-long break, to come back and still be almost on top, but on form at least, it's must be a good feeling. And of course, extending your championship lead as well.
Well, I mean, even though the overtake from Petter was in the last lap, I knew that I won't have a chance because I had damage since turn 1, lap 1, and I had no confidence after that. And I couldn't save tires as well because I had no confidence, and it didn't feel great. And yeah, I knew, well, if I pit that soon for the last time, it will be really, really tight until the end. Luckily, Fournier was holding on that long, so I could save a lot of tires behind him. I tried to not overtake him until the last couple of laps and hope that he will hold up the others. Well, it worked better than expected, but yeah, Petter was too fast and I didn't have any tires for the last lap. So I knew once he got past Fournier, I knew he will get me. I cannot do anything. But I'm really, really happy because after the start, I didn't think that I could do a top 5 because everyone was so close and I didn't feel comfortable at all.
I say it's those sort of fighting drives, isn't it, that really makes a potential bad situation. You fight your way through to still get yourself a P2 at the end. That's what I think. It just gives you more confidence in everything because you expected to be much further down. You're expecting you still come out of P2. So unfortunate in some regards, obviously, but you still come away with that podium position there, Alex, and in the rebranded or reliveried at least ACR car as well. Spa 2 weeks time. Obviously we saw you there last year as well. Have a DNF last year, unfortunately, on the opening lap with Mike Quint going into lagging, and he had nowhere to go but the back of his car. I guess you're there to make amends of that and get back on top there.
Yeah, I really hope so. I struggled a lot at this track here. It's similar to Bahrain where I struggled as well, and I was far off pace in comparison to Yannick. Unfortunate for him with this internet. But yeah, I think Spa suits me way more, and I hope to finally be on pace again and then finally have a incident-free race because the last 3 were not optimal in that regard.
I'll say we'll wait and see. Obviously, you got a couple of weeks now to prepare yourself for that, Alex. But well done for today. Obviously, unfortunately, missed the victory at the end, but still got that championship lead. So congratulations on that, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks' time.
Thanks.
So I think we're going to call it there regarding interviews. I say that has been one really impressive race and a great race to come back to, isn't it? Obviously after a month break. And next broadcast will be the Academy Series here at Hockenheim on Tuesday night, 7:30. You'll see that. I might commentate there if I can be bothered. So no, hopefully we'll get some new commentators here, and try their hand as well. If you are interested in that, feel free to pop myself a message or Alex, any members of staff as well. You can feel free to try your hand at some commentary or camera work or race directory as well. You're going to see a lot of cars or a lot of out of contract drivers trying their hand to try and get themselves a seat at a career ladder team as well. And then next week we're going to have obviously ITC, well, Formula Challenge first of all on Wednesday. That's at Spa, and then ITC makes its comeback on Thursday at Brands Hatch. 2 divisions, 70. Get the maths right. 72 cars. That is absolutely right. 36 cars per division. It's going to be chaos. I mean, hopefully some great racing, but expect to see a bit of damage as well. I've been David Carter. Unfortunately, Tom Parker's not here to say goodbye, but he's been here as well. And Gerrit de Vries on the cameras as well, doing a stellar job. As always, thank you, Gerrit, for being here as well. From myself, David Carter, I'll see you in a couple of weeks' time. You take care. Bye for now.